call this meeting of the Harmony CDD Board of Directors to order. Start with roll call. Chairman Lee here, Vice Chairman Chikanis here, Supervisor Cornell
here,
and Supervisor Williams.
here.
All right, thank you. First item is we have a public comment period. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Addressing the board directly rather than back and forth. We'll go through these in order. We have those speaking request forms, then we'll check anyone else in the room and everybody on the Zoom call. And I apologize, we do have a small issue with our Zoom call where we need to admit people if they join. We'll try and stay, Blake and I will stay on top of that. So we will start with the audience comments. First, Mary Jane Sleds.
My name is Mary Jane Sledge, 3181 Songbird Circle. First, I'd like to talk about the CDD assessments that were mailed out. They're out of whack. From the last meeting, the proposed budget was not to go over 5.31% for the whole community based on the budget meeting and the last CDD meeting. You cannot charge one section more. Although it is minuscule, it does not make a difference. We are one Harmony, and you cannot have one area paying more than the other. The management company believes it's acreage, but what she did not take into consideration is that much of the acreage she is speaking on is within our gates, which is already paid for us by our HOA. Please adjust this before the public hearing. In addition, we are aware of the estate's concerns regarding the assessments, and now we in the Lakes and Enclave are doubly concerned. After the comment last month from the attorney that the Lakes have been paying the most, we created an advisory group to research. After meeting with some of our residents, we have uncovered that the Lakes and the Enclave have been paying almost double what everyone else is. By foot in Harmony, we have people paying anywhere from $29.95 a foot to $49.99. And guess which group is paying the highest? The seniors in the Enclave. We do not receive any additional amenities from this increased cost. In fact, we receive less. Our rates should be on par with anyone else who has a 40-foot lot. This is specific to O&M. We understand the bond is different. We can get the data to the board, but we have provided the chair with a copy. A 40-foot lot in one area should not be paying more than a lot in the Lakes and vice versa. The methodology has to change as it is not working for all, and that is what the community is about. I'm asking the board to look at this very closely and do this fast because you are overtaxing many of the areas, especially the seniors who are living on fixed income, and it needs to be fixed sooner rather than later. Signage proposal. We need to revisit the signage proposal. We have a group that have met with the sheriff's office and they want to work with us. They did issue 6 citations this week and the patrols will continue, but we need to push for the signs again with the county. We need striping for the car lengths as well. The only way to get rid of the trailers, buses, RVs, boats, and trailers, whom most are illegal to begin with as they are in the bike lane, which is parking ordinance in a Florida statute. Believe me, this is an eyesore and devaluing our property. The entire area looks like trash. Can't see around the cars to pull out from side streets and then the kids being in the bike lanes. We met with the commissioner who said that we have an attorney. His attorney will reach out to our attorney. Please work with the county. There should be a way to add to the bylaws or rules of the CDD to restrict parking to cars, trucks under a certain weight and eliminate the buses, boats, trailers, and semis. Speeding update, and I know I'm very quick. I have data to present. It's worse than ever. We are at people going 50, 60 miles an hour. I will give this to the board, but we need to proceed in getting speed tables before someone gets killed. And the other ones I won't give you because time is up, but I will hand you my comments and the speeding taxing that was done. Copies for every one of you.
Fast. Thank you very much. Next we have Peter Gaines.
Just leave it there. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Peter Gaines, 3153 Songbird Circle. Mary Jane took a lot of my thunder, so some of it may be repeated. I realize some of what I'm about to share may already be familiar to members of the board and some of the audience, but it may be new information to others. First, the Community Development District assessments are governed by Chapter 190 of the Florida statute. It means they have to follow the law. This statute provides, in part, the amount of maintenance assessment for the exercise of the district's power under subsections 190.011 and 190.012 shall be determined by the board based upon a report of the district's engineer and assessed by the board upon such lands apportioned between the benefited lands in proportion to the benefits received by each tract of land. These benefits, I'm sure we all know, include community-wide services that we all enjoy, such as mowing and maintaining common areas. Other services are provided only to specific neighborhoods within the CDD, including tree trimming, alley maintenance, and pond maintenance. Even these services are of different sizes and needs for each neighborhood. Based on the district's proposed 2027 budget, it appears that some property owners may be paying different assessment fees without an explanation that is readily apparent. At the last CDD board meeting, it was stated assessments are based on the amount of property footage for each unit. However, according to the proposed budget, the assessment rate per front footage ranges from approximately $29.99 per foot up to $49.99 per foot. One of the estate members who's here said his frontage is only 73 feet, and based upon their assessment, that would make their rate $55.89 per foot. Seems like there's some discrepancies there. Chapter 190 requires that assessments be fairly and reasonably apportioned among properties based on the benefit received. Florida law also allows different assessment amounts when those differences are supported by a rationale, document, and legally defensible methodology. The key word there is documented. Since the Harmony CDD has been existent for 26 years, by the way, happy birthday. Your birthday was yesterday, 26 years. I assume such a documented methodology exists. If so, would the board please make that current methodology available to the residents? In closing, I respectfully ask the board two questions. First, do you believe the proposed assessments are fairly and reasonably apportioned among the properties based on the benefit of each property received? And second, will the board carefully review the assessment methodology to ensure it's being applied consistently, fairly, and in accordance with the Florida law for all Harmony properties?
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you for
Thank you. Kathy Forrest?
You want the mic?
You can just pass the mic.
Do it like that, Dr.
It'll be a little faster this way. Go ahead.
Well, he stole some of my thunder, so thank you so much.
Kathy, you can just state your name and address. Sure.
Kathy Schwartz, and I'm a resident of the estate, 7191 Oak Glen Trail. We are not asking for a free ride, as some residents allege. We are merely requesting that a fair assessment of the CDD O&M fee, the operation and maintenance fee that supports the day-to-day maintenance services and
Can you put the
amenities.
mic closer to your mouth?
Is it on?
She can't, she's on her.
Can you hear me?
Right there, that's trying to go to the
Is it green?
audio.
Yeah, you want to speak like right into it.
Okay.
There you go.
It supports the day-to-day maintenance services and amenities that are shared equally by the 1,561 Harmony residents. We are not asking anyone to pay our bond debt or our real estate taxes. We are asking an equitable O&M methodology be put in place that charges everyone a fair and equal amount to maintain the amenities and common ground in Harmony. We get exactly the same CBD access as everyone living here. We should not be paying more than any other neighbor for equal access. My home is 2,411 square feet. I live on approximately a third of an acre. These qualities are not unique to this community. What is unique is that this year I paid $3,874 for O&M, while other neighborhoods paid as little as $731 for the exact same access to Harmony CBDs and common ground. The board would like you to think that my home, my footage, and my property are deserving of this high fee when none of those things have anything to do with the responsibility of the CBD. Osceola has responsibility for our streets. We maintain the lawn and power wash our sidewalk. There are plenty of homes and properties that resemble or exceed the size of my home, yet they are paying far less toward the upkeep of Harmony. There are homes on Schoolhouse, Five Oaks, Caprior, Needle Grass, Indian Grass that are up to 3 times larger than my home. Lists having apartments and showing a land description on the Osceola property appraiser as an estate. Our land description is known as a residential on the site. I am not suggesting anyone pay my share. Rather, given the uniqueness of our community, the current O&M fees prove to be arbitrary and unfair and should instead be shared equally with the people who live here. I have asked repeatedly that the special benefit that we be shown the special benefit to support the O&M fees disparity and have not received an explanation. I am disappointed that the board spent $7,500 and did not explore a more equitable methodology over the last couple of months. Instead of choosing a methodology for review, they used the methodology using front footage, which was puzzling, as front footage is not a factor in the CBD's responsibilities on the common ground, and it did little to address the disparity.
Next is Lenny. Sorry,
Like the patio.
we'll figure it out one day. Lenny.
I will sit down. All right. I had eye surgery, so I have to be a pirate today. Lanai Cacavello, 344 Sagebrush Street in the Lakes at Harmony. I guess you see a trend here. I'm not going to read everything I prepared because you've already heard it from 4 other people now. I will say that I did email all of the board as well as Ms. Mullins, and I got a response from Ms. Mullins that I felt was somewhat condescending in that her main crux that I took away from it was that even though we're paying a higher percentage, 5.54, versus the 5.31, it's only $4 to $6. Well, that's not the response I really wanted to have. What I wanted to have is we'll take a look at it because our $49.99 per foot is much higher than the $29.95 of people that are receiving the exact same services that we are. And as a matter of fact, they probably have more benefit from them because we pay an extra fee to have our own pool. Which brings me to the second portion of the budget that was sent out. There were some categories that I just don't understand. The projected amounts for category landscaping and irrigation, it showed expenses that there were none for FY 2026, but then they showed an increase of $40,000 for landscape improvement and also an increase in miscellaneous, yet the projected increase was 0%. How can that be if you go from $0 to $40,000 and have a 0% increase on the budget? I don't know if that was a glitch, but I'd love to have it explained. I'm not an accountant, but it didn't look right to me. The second that I want to talk about is the upkeep and maintenance of the main pool, which we do use occasionally. As a matter of fact, we were using it 4 to 5 mornings a week. And the water quality, the cleanliness, the sides of the pool, and the furniture all needs a better upkeep. I have talked to Jonathan Soto and Grant Philbeck about the way the filter's being run, and I've also mentioned it to Dan Leap that the water needs to come down to a level where the filter's not constantly trying to circulate the water. I've talked to numerous pool people, as well as the one that cleans our pool down at the lakes. The water is too high, and it's going to burn that filter out over and over if someone doesn't correct it. That's costing us money that we shouldn't have to pay. It also does not clear out the globs of hair we've found in the pool, the dirt, and the scum that floats on top of the water. We no longer go to that pool because it's just too dirty. The water's murky. The furniture, that's there is covered in dirt, which used to get cleaned at least every 2 weeks. I haven't seen it cleaned once, and the dirt's starting to get embedded in the white pool furniture. That needs to be cleaned more often, as well as the sides of the pool where you can see what depth you're at. You can see the scum that's along that line. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Alana. Deborah Fuentes?
This will be really brief.
Name that as for record, please.
Yeah, very brief. Hi, Debbie Fuentes, 7450 Oakmark Road, Lakes. I will reiterate without repeating everything that the ladies and gentlemen have said. I'm definitely in agreement. We were told before, like they said, we were supposedly paying a lot more than everyone else, and now we're still paying more than everyone else. That doesn't seem fair or equitable. And the second part I just wanted to address was the parking issue as well. I have contacted code enforcement for over a year and a half or more, and they will always say the same thing. There's nothing that's going to be done unless roads and signage comes in and puts up a sign. Other than that, they cannot tow, they cannot ticket, they can't do anything. So we're really looking for your support in getting this done. Thank you.
Roseanne Young? Yeah.
3374 Sagebrush Street. A lot of it has been said, but I want to bring up one thing. We, as the seniors, 55 plus, we pay more. We pay $45.36 a year in 3 different HOA fees, while the rest of the community only pays $872. But yet you say, raise our tax or assessment on our property. That's what you want to do? We're on fixed income. People, the regular people, all work. They have 1 to 2 and sometimes 3 other people in the household on the other side that are making more money than us. We worked all our time for our luxury and leisure we have, but you're tightening our belts and making us have to do everything. We upkeep, we pay enough to upkeep our properties, our streets, and everything. But what are you doing for us? I came here 2 months ago, sat up in the front, and I asked to have 5 Oaks dog park fencing to be fixed. I got the groundkeeper that came and talked to me, but said it's not their job, it's the engineer's job. And then I hear the engineer said it's too much money to fix the fence, but you spent almost $16,000 to fix Capra's one? That's not fair. We've got to deal with teenagers, young children less than 10 driving golf carts at 35 miles an hour and better. We've got people speeding at 60 to 70 miles an hour that as we're coming out, and remember one thing, we're older, we have vision problems, and you have someone driving at that, someone's going to get killed. So who do we sue? The CDD? Because we don't have anybody maintaining our streets and what's going on. And I think it's time that you guys take responsibility for what you need to be doing. That side of the road needs to be taken care of, not only the other side.
Thank you. Jennifer Luanos?
I love the motion. Are you kidding? I love the motion. I love to see it come through.
Jennifer Bolano, 7136 Oak
Can we have a quiet we're still having public comments. Can we have a quiet room, please?
Good evening. Yep, so this is the 4th meeting where I see a lot of the same faces here. We're coming, before the board, just asking for transparency regarding the operations and maintenance methodology and what's going on there, And, a lot of the response that we've received is it's still not very transparent, and the reports that we're asking for are just not coming through. And I just want to keep this discussion open and moving forward. From the beginning, I just feel like we're seeing a very large disparity in what the assessments are between the neighborhoods. Some people are paying $4,000, some people are paying $1,000, some people are even paying less. And again, it's all for the same shared amenities. And although it's been in place for many years, I just don't feel like that's the right response. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best approach for today and what we have going on in the community. So I just really do appreciate that you guys took, the time to assess the ERU methodology. I feel like that's just one review. We did pay a hefty amount, over $7,500 for this review, and I just feel like there should be other options that we should be reviewing, including like a two-tier approach, or maybe like capping assessments or something like that for each homeowner, or even just seeing what that equal O&M assessment would be, what it would look like across all homeowners, just having that transparency. But yeah, I'm seeing the same conversations happening with all the homeowners here tonight, and I just hope that we can keep this open and continue the conversation, and just until we get to some type of fair solution. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Do we have any other audience comments here in the room?
Barbara Finazzo, 3353 Sagebrush. I'm not going to repeat the budget stuff. The only comment I have is that I've been here since 2017. There has never been a difference in the percentage of increases or decreases by neighborhood. So if you guys were serious about doing status quo to give yourselves more time to look at the assessment methodology into next year, why all of a sudden is the Lakes and the Enclave being asked to pay more? I don't care what the new management company's numbers are, they're not correct. I can poke holes in them. But if you're serious about doing a reevaluation, then you should be serious about just charging everybody the same percentage and making this simple for everybody. So that's my only comment on the budget. The ponds. I ask that there be better education to the field services about which ponds the CDD is responsible for. I have homeowners telling me that they're getting comments back when they report things using the little QR thing, that the ponds are not the CDD responsibility. They are. I have gone on the GIS map for the county, and I have identified down at the east end of Harmony, in the Lakes and the Enclave, exactly which ponds belong to the CDD and which ones belong to the HOA. There are only 3 that the HOAs own. 2 in North Lake and 1 in the Enclave. The rest of them are you guys. It's your responsibility to take care of them. It's your responsibility to fix the broken sprinklers, which people report, and they have to report them repeatedly to get them fixed. It's a waste of water. So I'm just asking that more attention be paid to that end of the community. And then the third thing is, please, please do not tell me that we're going to be spending a ridiculous amount of money for holiday lights. I looked at these proposals. They're an embarrassment that they're even being considered when you have so many other things that are much more important than Christmas lights.
Joe? Can we get someone to pass the mic?
Most of my comments have been taken up already.
Name and address for the record, please.
Most of them have been said already.
Name and address.
7159 Trail. Joe Jensen. Most of the comments I agree with what was said tonight. I think the optimal way is to get everybody in equal amounts and stop this disparity. Because I did a chart that has changed, since the numbers have changed, that if you keep going at the rate you're going, in 15 years, you're going to be a $3 to $4 million enterprise. So you're trying to operate on 2.5 hours a month. You can't continue that way. You're not looking for the savings. And I know you do this as a part-time job, mostly a volunteer job, and it's not, considered, but you've got to consider us. Right now, I would think if you were just to take the increase for this year, it's about $156,000, right? Divided by the number of people in Harmony, everybody would just see a $100 increase. I think everybody could afford $100 this coming year. Not some people paying $68, $69, and some people paying over $200 a month, a year for the same services. Again, it gets down to what are the services you are providing us. Okay, do any of us really get additional services? Yes, there actually is a few. Everybody who's getting the verge nobody's gonna be able to, in 15 or 20 years, nobody's gonna be able to live through. It's too damn expensive. That's
Any other comments here in the room? Name and address for the record, please.
Yeah. George Dismos, 3205 Southern Pine. Hi, everybody. Just real quick, I'd just like to say I would like to see a cap at some point. I know that's going to be hard to do, but, and excuse me, I just came from the gym, so I'm a little jittery. I would also like to say we should have a timer on the splash pad, similar that you would have on a hot tub or something, so it's not running all day. That's just a thought from a building engineer perspective. You just go there, turn the fan on, and it should kick on. It shouldn't have to be running all day. Half the time it's not even being used. Just a thought. I would like to know where the 9.9 motor is that we have as a community and why that wasn't being used for Berman when the boats were damaged. I think somebody should be watching over the maintenance that's performed to confirm that what we're paying is being done. I think that's important. I would like to say Blake's always been very professional, Jonathan and Grant. That's really all I had. Everybody else did a good job. Good job, everybody. Thank you. Hey, Rito, I know that you guys did take this time to yourself, and I appreciate you doing it, but we didn't take on that responsibility, so I apologize if any of my comments are rude to anybody, but I'm just saying stuff that I see. So I apologize if I'm laughed at and stuff. But I'm going to stop writing on the floor so I don't look stupid.
Appreciate it, George.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other audience comments here in the room? Yep. Yeah, come on up.
You don't get another public comment.
It's something
No,
totally
you already, I'm sorry, yeah, you already had it. Yeah, sorry.
Trish, come on up here and thank you for putting this striking out front, would you?
That's the county.
And yes, but
Yes,
it
it
worked
was
and
the
the school
county
buses
All
don't.
right, so any other comments in the room here before we check on Zoom? All right, any audience comments on the Zoom call? Go ahead and unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record.
I don't know whether Dan got first or not.
Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
Alright, so I'm Casey Quinzel, 7158 Oak Glen Trail. I'm hanging here with my little man, so I can be here in person. I hope everybody's having the best night possible. First off, I want to thank Hardcore, the CD board, for putting the reflective signs on the agenda for Campfire Trail, and I'll talk about it a bunch, and I'm actually legitimately pumped that, and he's saying woo-hoo over there, he's pumped about it too. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome. So I also want to, reiterate what everybody else has been saying around the DOM assessments. It is something I at least hope would be considered. One of the things that I noticed from the methodology that was done where we put everybody on an even playing field, that even there, the estate was paying 3% less. And I had to actually look myself, put a column of what was before and what was after, so I wish that was done. Maybe the board could publish something like that to make it easy for everyone to see what the actual change was, since what was put on the agenda was just simply what the new was without showing what the old was prior. I think I just wanted to at least give a thank you on seeing something on the agenda that I asked about multiple times, because I really appreciate that. And then just kind of reiterate that I would love to see something done to make it a little bit more equitable. I'm starting to come around to maybe an approach where it's the amenities or everything is clearly shared, is broken out separate from what could actually be a difference based upon property or location. But I would love to see that. And then I'll end with saying I don't see very much maintenance done in the estates where it comes to like the sidewalks, etc., that appear to be CDD maintained. And I might be incorrect by saying that some of the sidewalks are CDD maintained, but if I'm not, some of those definitely need to be power washed. Some of those definitely seem like they need to either be reshaped or brown or whatever. I'm not sure if anyone brought that to the attention of the board, but I wanted to at least point that out. And thank you very much for what you do. I appreciate you, and I hope you have the best night possible.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey. Do we have any other audience comments on the Zoom call?
Yes, this is Amy Perez, 7166 Oakland Trail.
Okay, go ahead.
Also a resident of the estates, and just wanted to voice that I'm against the holiday lighting in favor of perhaps doing something with the soccer fields and anything else that could be done to fix that. That's used by kids keep people out of trouble. So it would be, nice to have those facilities fixed. I agree with the comments from Casey about the NSE estates. He says that we are not treated the same as other areas of the community, and I'd like to see that change. That there's a concern before. I don't like the fact that I was told that we were going to, or you guys were going to be consulting with the vendor to add that to the budget. I think that should have been part of the budget already. It blows my mind that, the estates was not part of the budget. If I misunderstood, I apologize. But yeah, and I echo everything that everyone said about the fair assessments. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave. Richard Mason?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, name and address for the record, please.
Richard Mason, 71504 Five Oaks Drive. Going to offer a little bit of a different perspective with regard to the O&M assessments. I realize that the assessments are based on the value of the property and that changes depending on what area the property is and where it's located within the overall community. The one point that I would point out as far as I know there's been a lot of talk about even distribution in terms of the fees, but please be aware that some people who may live in a townhouse or a condo bought that home based on their income when they bought it. And if those assessment fees go even more all the way around, then those individuals will see the greatest percentage increase in terms of the overall fees. So I know there's been a lot of others with different opinions from different areas, and I just felt the need to speak up for some that have purchased homes based on their incomes, and seeing fees go up substantially is not necessarily a good thing. And I realize that it's affecting other areas in other ways, but just wanted to make that point across as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Last call. Do we have any more audience comments on the Zoom call or here in the room?
All right.
Hearing none. Turn over to Lynn.
Hearing none, we're going to turn over to nominations for the vacant seat 2. I would ask for Kevin Shea to stand up, and the resumes are in there, but if you guys would like to give a little blurb before the board discusses and make a nomination.
Yeah, please tell us a little bit about yourself and.
Should we do the 3-minute thing again for that, or do you guys think?
No, I just think just something.
I'll try to make it contract time. Yeah, my name is Kevin Shea, 3216 Blazing Star Lane. So yeah, I threw my hat and my name in. Look, I would love to serve in a longer period of time. My kids are at a period in their lives where I cannot commit for the full 4 years. But I would like to see what I can do in 4 months. These people are volunteers, and it's great. And the HOA, the CDD boards, everybody volunteers, and everybody thinks that, hey, I want to give back. I want to volunteer. I want to give back to my community. I want to do something. I want to have a voice. And that's fantastic. And I don't want to downgrade any of that. But here's the thing. This isn't a volunteer position. This is a leadership position. Okay? These are your community leaders. And so I would like to set the tone. Give me 4 months to set a cadence, to show what a leadership should be. I've got some opinions on how things should be run here. 4 months isn't a long time, but I guarantee I can get some things going. Look, this little clock here, by the way, I suggested it 2 months ago, right? And we already did it, right? So just because 3 minutes, it's in the best interest of people's time, but it's also, isn't it kind of rude to be cut off? Like, so she didn't want to do that either. She didn't want to cut you off, but she has to be conscious of time. So now everybody, we saw it tonight, everybody's pretty much self-policing themselves, right? So here's the thing, look. Volunteers, it's about leadership, it's about things. I want to just kind of set a cadence for the next 4 months. You have other people that have actually, they're on the ballot this fall, and I'm sure they may want to also fill the seat temporarily. I would suggest to you, let me do it because I think it's unfair to pick one of the candidates that's on the ballot. I think they get an unfair advantage if they get the next 4 months to kind of show themselves. It's not fair to the other candidates. So that's all I want to say about that. And I feel like, as far as leadership, I know you didn't read the resumes, but just real quick, I've been in leadership a long time. I'm a senior vice president. I oversee $180 million in assets all over the country. You can ask me about it, but I don't want to bore you, but I'm pretty good at that. So that's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. John Mike?
How you doing? John Mike, 35 Garska Drive. I am on the ballot. I see things a little bit differently. I'd like to hit the ground running and see what I can possibly do now, and instead of waiting 4 months here for 4 years, been here 4 years, family's here, we're not going anywhere, and hopefully you guys give me the opportunity to show you what I got.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. Ms. Marcel? And then the board will have a chance to ask the resident, or the nominees any questions.
Well, I didn't want to follow that. Thanks, gentlemen. We both seem like phenomenal candidates. Marcella, if I haven't met all of you, I want to. I've been here 10 years, more than 10 years. My whole family's here. My mother-in-law's here, my aunt, my brother. I'm committed here in every way that, I feel like I agree with Kevin. I think we need strong leadership, but we also need to understand that, we need people that are heavily invested here, invested in the future, invested in the collective community. And without going through my CV, like I said, I'm a true harmonian. I'm also a litigation paralegal. I work pretty much in property claims first party, and then half of my career is spent in mortgage foreclosures. I do have a little bit of experience in reading a lot of legal documents, understanding them, kind of getting through that hole sometimes when you shouldn't. And just really, at the end of the day, like I said, these other two gentlemen are great candidates as well. I'm ready to jump in. I'm fully invested. This is important to me. And I'm not going to, oversell it. I care very much about these fees and about this $3 million+ budget. And that's my interest. So a head start, I don't know. I'm ready to get going. I feel like there's a lot of decisions that need to be made right now, and I'm concerned that if we don't have the right person, someone committed to what long-term consequences we're looking at here, that this could be a problem. And I do appreciate everybody coming in here and pulling out all of their concerns about the neighborhood and what they really expect. It makes it, I'm sure it's hard for the board, and God bless you all. I don't know necessarily, but it's important too that they voice their concerns, that they lay it out, and that we need to kind of get to work on that. Some of these problems seem complex. A few of them seem, relatively easy, I hope, to solve with a little bit of understanding and cooperation of the board too. It's really important that you have 5 people that are at least committed to the end goal. So I'm ready, and thank you.
Thank you, Marcella. So at this time, I'll turn it over to the board to have their discussions, whether it's asking any questions or just talking amongst yourselves to see which nomination. As a reminder, we have 4 people here today. A tie will be 2 and 2, 3 people to pass the motion on whoever the nomination is. One person needs to make a nomination, and then we'll take that. So however the board sees fit. Go ahead again.
Does anyone have any questions for the 3 candidates?
Your HOA experience, were you on an HOA board or just heavily involved with the?
No, I was on 2 HOA boards.
Okay.
Is that your only question for?
Yeah, that was it. Well, I read the thing and it just said participated, so I was like, okay, were you on it or just heavily involved?
And so we have any other questions for the candidates?
I know Marcella, I know Kevin, John, I've never met you before, but I've heard you speak, whether on the magazine or just now, so I think I have enough information to make my decision.
Do we want to just make a decision, or do we want to kind of talk about it?
Well, yeah.
I mean, a nomination, if we could agree on something would be great, and then we could have further, so let me do this. Let me call for someone give me a nomination.
Sure, I'll do that. And I've said on the forum, we were spoiled for choice in this community, that we have 4 people that signed up to run for both open vacant seats. I feel that given the temporary nature of what we're doing tonight, it makes the most sense to give Kevin that seat rather than do the choice that the voters are going to be doing in a few months anyways. So it would be different if we hadn't had both candidates for one of the seats put their hat in the ring, but given that, I would nominate Kevin Shea for the temporary position on board.
Okay,
I disagree.
Yeah. Wait, hold on, sorry. You disagree with this?
I disagree. I think someone who is actually running for a seat would benefit more having, 3-4 months of experience to get up to speed and to hit the ground running when the time comes to get elected. And
I'll say that was my thought coming in when we had only one of the candidates on that had put their hand up at that point. But since we have both, we have, and it's for the same seat. So it's not even like we were picking to replace that one seat. We have a competitive election that's going to be happening in a few months that the voters will be picking no matter what we do tonight.
I understand that.
Okay. Well, I'm not explaining why I changed my mind from going. I would have selected John coming in since he was on the for a time he was the only actual candidate that had stepped up. But with
so you're
Marcelo as well.
changing your mind that you want somebody that's
Yes,
running?
I don't want to make that choice that the voters are going to be making since. If only one had shown the initiative and stepped up and the other one hadn't, then it would be reasonable to give them that test drive on the board and let voters have a few months to see how they perform. But since both are trying to do that, I don't want to make that choice that the voters are going to be making.
So Lucas says no.
I nominate Marcella for
Okay.
the position.
Brittany?
I'm going to give my rationale just so everyone understands it. I think that we have two really good options. Like Dan said, we're so lucky to have, folks throw their name in the ringer. I think that both Kevin and Marcella would be phenomenal options. I mean, you guys come to meetings. You guys are obviously here at meetings. They're here consistently. They're vocal. They're involved. I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world that one of them would be the choice. I'm a heavy advocate for the HOA and the CDD sort of working together more than like as two separate entities to a certain extent. But, quite opposite to how Dan feels, I actually think that we have the advantage of having someone who's running for the seat. And, I mean, first of all, obviously, if everyone saw the agenda, her resume is there. She's someone who knows what she's talking about, but at the same time, it's kind of like we all kind of get to test it first too, to make sure that we are good with the way that things are running for the next 4 months. So yes, I agree with Lucas, and I will also nominate Marcella.
I nominate John. He has a long history of public service, working with the community. Sure, he hasn't been here as long as the other candidates, but I mean, just his professional experience, the homeowners being on the board. I know Kevin's on the board, so.
I think that's really important, but also, I don't know John personally, but I've never seen John at a meeting or had many conversations. And hey, I'm not saying that that's a sole indicator, but for somebody to jump in the role right now, like, hey, he's here today, maybe he's committed from now till November to sort of learn the ropes, but like to just jump in day one, your first time being at a meeting, I think that's kind of, when we have some like big decisions to make in the next couple of months, I think that's a little reckless.
So, okay, hold on a minute. But in saying that, I did not attend a meeting and was elected and jumped right in. Lucas jumped right in.
Sure.
Dan, we at one point did not attend a meeting and jumped right in.
Hey, I did jump right in.
I don't
Well,
think Dan did either.
I was here since 2023.
At one point. But at one
So
point.
for the board, so we don't keep
So going back, Marcella has been in the community for over 10 years now. She's seen a lot. She knows a lot of people. In my opinion, I think when she runs, she would probably get a lot of people pulling for her. And going back to just her experience in the community, knowing a lot of things about it, I think she'd be a great asset to the board.
All right, so I have 2 for Marcella and I have 2 no's, so nothing passes right now.
Hold on, let's continue to have a conversation.
No, that's what I'm saying. We need to get to
At least 3, right?
Yeah, I have to have at least 3, so you guys can keep having this conversation, but either someone
Okay.
has to fold or change their
Right,
mind.
no, well, we can keep talking about it.
Or no motion passes and every seat is vacant.
Look at us right now, a tiebreaker would be a good thing to have. I think we owe it to everyone to make some kind of choice. Just from a cold, hard, logical perspective, I wanted to have someone, have someone running versus someone not running. And if that's what the board overall is feeling and wants to make that choice.
You said no for her vote.
What's that?
You're saying no for, are you saying yes for?
Are you open to conversation or dialogue still?
I'm explaining why. I was just trying to, sorry for interrupting. just trying to explain why. I have my justification for if that's what two other people on the board want to do, that I would go along with.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm saying if you're open to conversation, we have obviously are looking at it two totally different ways, but I'm not like sold in any 100%. I think Marcella's going to do a great job. And again, because she's willing to stay in the long term, I think that gives us an advantage, but I'm willing to like keep talking about it.
I think we have 3 votes, right?
I think Daniel said he's a good.
Okay, I just wanted to feel good about it.
But who's to say that John's not in it for the long run?
That was my first choice.
I'm saying that today I'm not going to vote for somebody to come sit in the seat that's never been here once. I can't do that in good conscience. I mean, I appreciate that he's here today and that maybe, again, we'll continue to come and learn, but you're asking, so I'm telling you.
John, did you want to give them a rebuttal or?
I think I'm not opposed to that. I could take a rebuttal.
Just because I haven't been here doesn't mean I haven't watched online, doesn't mean I haven't gone back a year through all of the minutes and everything online. I know what's going on. I know there are changes need to be made. I've made hard decisions. That's not hard.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear that I mean, that's great.
Okay, so if that's what the majority of the board is going to decide, I will change my nomination to Marcella to fill the vacancy.
All right, so I need a nomination for Marcella. Who's making the nomination?
I'll make the nomination for Marcella.
Okay.
Is that first? I'll second, I guess.
Wait, who was the first motion? Brittany? Lucas?
Yeah, this is actually a motion to appoint.
Appoint,
That's what I'm hearing.
Make a motion to appoint Marcella.
And I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Marcella, I just need your driver's license.
And thank you, really, for everyone. I mean, you would have been obviously.
It's an honor. I'm happy to help, but
I know.
you guys do what you need to do.
Thank you, Kevin.
And honestly, like, no market, it's not
No,
personal.
I'm not worried about it. Listen, I'm happy that another candidate got it.
And you're gonna run.
And also, there's lots of ways for you to support the board in the interim so that you're learning this. So I really encourage that, to be honest. Feel free to reach out.
Brady's out.
Wait, can you get sworn in?
Hold on, everybody. Please, our board.
Can everyone please be quiet?
She's getting sworn in.
I, please state your name. Marcella Bartlett, a citizen of the state of Florida and of the United States of America, and being employed by or an officer of the Harmony Community Development District and a recipient of public funds as such employees or officers, do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Florida. So I'm going to have you sign here. I'll take it. Right here. And then the first question I have is, you are allowed to collect $200 in compensation. Would you like to accept?
Yeah.
I gotta shoot my shot, man.
So yes, I just need it for the record.
Are you absolutely?
And then we have a word, I can talk to you after. I don't need to read it.
Right, that's what I said.
Everything that goes on, but it will stay behind for a minute, so I can just read you some of the top key highlights. You can either sit here or you can climb all the way.
We made room for you here. There's having on the agenda.
Can I steal this chair?
Sure.
May I?
It's all right.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I am not offended. I was not offended.
Welcome to the dark side.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the delay, everyone. So we'll get back to business.
All right, so we'll move on to district business items. First up, we have the meeting minutes of the May 28th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting. Any comments, questions, or edits to the minutes?
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have reviewing the meeting minutes of the June 11, 2026 continued Board of Supervisors.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Can we get, there's another mic over there for Marcella?
What? That blue mic right there for
Yeah.
myself?
We have 6 total, so it should be good for everybody.
All right, next up, we have consideration of Resolution 2026-06, adopting an annual meeting schedule for fiscal year 2026-2027. I've continued these for the third Thursday of the month with 2 budget workshops being March 25th and April 15th. Some of the days might be before or after due to a holiday or another conflict I may have. And we can always move them around, but it's just good to get them on the calendar.
Mark up here. Hands up.
I will just point out, traditionally we've had them on the 4th and or last, which is maybe inconsistent some months where there's 4 or 5 Thursdays a month, and then it's always up against the holidays in November and December. So I'm in favor of moving to the 3rd week, like we have proposed here.
Are you second?
Yeah, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have some discussion items. The first one, Brittany sent over some Christmas light proposals, and I'll turn it over to her.
Oh, okay. Hi, guys. Well, I got some proposals from Katie Robinson. She's on the HOA, obviously, as we discussed at the last meeting, helping out with them. Yeah, I mean, like I said last month, I was in favor of it then. I'm in favor of it now. I know that there is a lot of pressure and everyone's feeling the anxiety of things like costing more, and we're scared of something blowing that budget up, something that seems as trivial or frivolous as lights. Like, what a luxury, right? When we have so many more expensive things to do. I get it, I hear you, right? But guys, like, let me blow your mind. Like, what if we could have those things and still not have these increases? I mean, totally different. I'm gonna stray, so I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I have suggested for cuts in different areas of the budget that would make it so that we have more money for things like something pretty, like Christmas lights, or things that we can enjoy as a neighborhood, and then also not have to suffer an increase. So I get the fear. I think that it probably comes from everything that we've experienced in the past couple of years, but yeah, for all those reasons, I know that we can make cuts in other areas. I know that we can keep the budget at minimal, if any, increase. I feel good about that, and I'm for these lights, which
Do you know if the HOA has worked with any of these partners before, or they were making this decision, or are they looking for the CDD to make?
I don't actually know too much detail. I know that she said that there were 3 vastly, obviously different numbers, and but no, I actually don't know if we have worked with them in the past. You want to, one of these guys?
Just a quick HOA comment, not personal. I can tell you that if there's no money, if nothing is approved for holiday lights, we get none. The HOA does not have the funds for it. All of our money goes to recreational and the events that you see out here. So the HOA budget is just so small. There's just no money for the lights.
It's like we kind of discussed last month, right? Nobody was happy. I mean, we, the CDD, got complaints about the lights last year. They were not, and that's because these are your neighbors going out there stringing lights, okay? I myself was out there one day. I remember they started at 8 a.m. and I had helped for a couple hours. My family went to eat dinner and came back, and Kevin was still out there stringing lights. It was already nighttime. But the point is, guys, this is your neighbors. Obviously, it's not going to be a professional job. We are a neighborhood with almost a $3 million budget. We can afford $20,000 lights, guys.
Also, just for consideration, there are 7 HOAs within these borders and 1 CDD. So why should one HOA have to bear the burden? I feel like the CDD is the governing body. That's the logic I want to put forward on that when you're considering the Christmas lights. CDD owns the land, no HOA owns the land. 7 HOAs feed into 1 CDD. It's your property. consider
Okay,
that.
what is the pleasure of the board? Do you guys want to go through these? Obviously,
Well,
they're-
another thing to consider from us is, I'm sure everyone saw the email from Berman, and so we do have Berman has given us $1,000 to contribute towards our Christmas lights, just in good faith. So thank you so much to Berman. That was so generous, so kind. We really appreciate that. And so that means we saved $1,000.
And the tower electric has fixed.
That is on my list.
Okay, let's try and, we have plenty of time for public comments. Let's please keep it to the board business here. My thoughts are, assuming we can sub-select with these, I would be in favor of maybe doing just the entrance lights with, what's the third, low, looks like. So that would be about 6,000 and then offset by 1,000 from Berman's contribution, so about 5,000. So if that vanishes into our budget, and has everyone would see it coming in. I think that would have the most bang for the buck, doing just the east and west entrances with these proposals. Using the logic that Kevin said, yes, there's many different HOAs and everything, and we own those properties, and that's a small enough amount. I think if we limit it to those, you could go crazy with trees all over square streets and everything. I think just doing the entrances would be what I support.
And if the CDD does the agreement, just remember, these all have taxes on there. We are tax exempt.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. I mean, any other discussion?
I guess the last time that Katie was here and Kevin, you were here, talking about splitting the cost, so I don't know y'all's budget, but obviously you guys did have budget to do some lights, so I don't know what happened to that budget, if it's not there anymore, or you guys aren't collecting the same revenue or whatnot, but I did say we would potentially split. I think it was like 30 grand was the budget, the proposal she sent me. But I do understand your concerns, like it is our property, but I just want to understand like what happened from you guys being able to afford it previously, and then now you guys don't have money. Like what happened with those funds?
It got cut from the budget to try to not raise HOA fees.
So like $30,000.
30 completely?
No, we didn't have 30,000 ever for
$15,000.
Right, it was relying on the volunteer labor of people putting them up.
That budget was the labor was part of that.
It was the HROA, so the for single family was the HOA that was covering that, and it was volunteer people doing the work of putting it up, tearing it down. So this would be a professional, outside company doing it, but it would be, funded by the CDD, which everybody pays into, and wouldn't be relying on our residents being out there on a volunteer basis doing the work. And again, I think with Berman's contribution this year, $5,000, that's a fraction of a percent of the budget. Well,
That's not a bad idea.
It would be, if we did just the east and west entrance from these quotes, that's $29.50 and $30.50. So that's $6,000 for those two, minus the tax that we don't have to pay, and minus the $1,000 that Berman has agreed to kick in. So that would be about $5,000 to do just the two entrances professionally.
Where's that $5,000 coming out of? The discretionary fund?
Yeah, we literally, didn't we set 20 or 30 aside for stuff like this, so.
No, that was not officially, that's
Well,
not like a GoFundMe, or not a GoFundMe.
We haven't
There's
voted on
something.
the budget. What I'm saying is that it was allocated.
Okay, that's a separate conversation. Can we please keep the room quiet, please? This is a very loud, echoey room. Can we please have our discussion as the board up here?
I ain't for adding a line item in our budget for this, but I want to understand what we're maybe agreeing to and how much we're planning to spend or allocate towards lights. But I think whatever we've done before, we need to match what we've done or a little bit better. Because if we just do the entrances and we don't do the town square, I mean, it's going to look like we're cheap and broke.
Real quick,
let's do it right.
Real quick, we can't change the budget that we sent out. We already.
I understand.
Right. So what we need to do right now is what how much and then how it gets accounted for in our budget. That's a given.
Right. The total amount we can't change. We can roll it. We can still add line items into the budget and move allocated stuff down to there. So, I don't know, Marcella, you're on the board, you can speak up.
I'll go last, out of respect.
Out of respect, girl?
No, go ahead. I feel like want to hear.
I think that if we, I think $10,000, contributing towards the lights, $10,000, I think is more doable than, if we don't want it to, like Lucas said, if we're gonna do it, then it should look nice and it should represent the neighborhood. And I know, guys, it sounds trivial to spend $10,000 on lights, but I promise there's way worse places that our money is and could be going. This is for us.
So what is the pleasure of the board?
I would move forward with the proposal from Lowe for just the east and west entrances in an amount not to exceed 5,000 contingent on Urban's contribution for this year.
What about the town square?
That's the last one.
What about the town square?
Yeah.
That's page 61.
Yeah, hold on.
Nobody said that.
Well, I think we need more than that, Dan,
I
in
think
my opinion.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make a motion then just for, contingent upon like receiving the documentation that we need to review and whatnot from it, I think that we can give $10,000 towards the lights.
No, that's way too much from the discretionary fund.
So we have a motion for $10,000. Is there a second?
Let me see.
See, the town square is 17,000.
Yeah, at least this one.
Square Drive, Oak Tree. This isn't all of it.
Pick it not to exceed.
But this is the, is this the,
Not to exceed 10,000, there you go. And you got, yeah.
Is this the only quote? Low, okay, that is the quote.
I mean, we just heard a lot of citizens, saying not to raise the CDD fees, but you want to spend 10 grand on.
I have no intention of raising any
We
city.
can't raise the fees or
I have-
anything.
To
watch us do it to
I have voted against that time and time again, so.
Lights increase value, home.
Okay, well, the choice is the board's to make. I said my piece, Marcella, if you want to weigh
No,
in, please.
I just want to confirm that 10,000 just is under the discretionary fund. So it's already.
That's what it would be coming out of.
Okay, currently, I get it. It seems relatively high, but I also think it's important that I worry that while it's still a bit high, and I'm concerned about the amounts that these proposals are coming at, to not have anything come out in the front and in the town square might alter a lot more than what people are giving credit to. I mean, it's a humongous part of Christmas time here. While I understand, and I'm not in favor of some of the amounts, but currently that amount is accounted for. And what if somebody knows off the top of their head how much of the discretionary fund we spent last year?
We didn't have one last year. We had it under miscellaneous.
It was
and
under
So we're
miscellaneous.
slated to have $20,000
Yes.
next year, so that doesn't come, but that's pending if the budget gets adopted in August with how it's presented. If it doesn't get presented, then we could have,
Lynn, are we underrunning or overrunning right now?
Sorry.
we have already spent 80% of our budget, and we still have 3 more months left.
Okay, so what's our
80?
estimate? What's our estimate?
That's the balance case.
Our irrigation is out of control. I mean, if you guys can see what's already in there, if you guys want to just hold and talk through the other agenda items.
Yeah.
It's already 7:15. As a reminder, we have to be out by 8:30, and we're not very far along on the agenda. But yes, we spent 80% of our budget. We have a 200,000 sidewalk that hasn't been pulled out. We have,
Well, that's coming from our reserve fund.
but you guys had it budgeted 100,000 or 80,000 this year to use towards it. So I mean, we're.
All right, well, there's a lot of nuances there, but all right, let's move forward. Table this.
Next up, we have reflective sign at Catfire Trail crosswalk. As the gentleman on the phone stated, he's very concerned about some of the reflective items. And I have Grant with Bourbon here who can discuss the proposal he's got. Or can someone pass him a mic so he doesn't have to come?
All right, hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. So I have 3 proposals. There's the first one, it's an all-in kit. It's got everything that the second one includes, which is going going to be the screws to attach the sign, as well as the little arrow signs for each side of the road. There's 2 of them. It's also, we don't need the concrete, we already have a big bag of that, it's already been purchased. Those are going to be the ones that you see like right outside, out front, the big ones that go on the side of the road. That third one is going to be one of the small ones that you place in the middle of the road. You can get those for cheaper, for about $100, but they're very light. I worry that kids are going to be stealing those if we just leave them in the middle of the road, which is why I gave 2 of the other ones, because I felt that those were better options. My recommendation is the first. It's the all-in kit. It's the only one of those that I can find. It's also the cheapest, and we could get that installed, which I know that people are worried it's very dark over there. So.
So would that be the $328.95 grant? That's the first one on here.
Yes, the cheapest one.
The cheapest one. How much is that? Miscellaneous? I mean, we can always move money around when our year ends, but at this point, I feel like we're going over budget this year with how much irrigation and the things that we have on the agenda. So we're gonna have to pull from reserves at this point, no matter what. What is the pleasure of the board?
I like the 328. 328. Motion for the 328.95 package.
Motion by Julie, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Dan, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Grant, or is it Matt? Next up, we have a discussion regarding the 20-foot pontoon boat issue. Grant, Matt, I'll. Yeah, we send this everything out.
Alright, so as far as the pontoons, we've encountered a problem where there's some hidden fees. Once we provide, we got the quote from them, they decided to throw us a battery fee and a handle fee, which kind of put the number at $10,000 above what we were.
At least they kept it subtle.
Which, you know, we had gotten a quote from them, and specifically asked if it was everything included, it was out the door price, they said yes, and they gave us with it.
So you guys originally at the last meeting approved the boat at $27,059, and
Now they want 37.
And as you guys are aware, we've had a hard time finding electric boat anything. So we just wanted to bring it back for you guys to make a decision.
Can we pull up those original options again? Are they still on the table?
Was any of the other ones, do you recall off the top of your head? I can pull it up in just a minute. What the other prices were? I should have included those.
I believe, what was the other one?
The other proposal was around $45,000. I've been looking into more boats. I didn't want to bring actual proposals today, just because getting people to respond and get good until dates is going to be very hard with the time frames that they've been given, and the fact that next meeting is entirely budget. But what I've been finding is right around that 35 to 45 range, and that's before they add in that hidden fee, which, yeah.
So we just want to make you guys aware, we can table it for today, they can go do the homework and bring it back for September, but then again, we're still down votes. So we just want you guys to be aware, so when the residents start coming to us, we can say we brought this before, and this is the plan action.
There's still the one, right? There's still the one pontoon boat that's available, and then the one that we're using as rescue.
Yes, and then the last item on the discussion today is going to be for motor repairs for the rescue boat.
What's the lead time on both?
For the new boat?
Yeah.
It's 8 years.
8 weeks.
But then even so, with the $10,000 in extra charges or hidden fees that these folks are charging now, we're still $10,000 less than the next option.
Oh, so the other one that we've gotten was $46,000. And the other one was the $27,059. But when they went to go do final negotiations, they're like, haha, here you go, this is what it really is.
Is that through the sheriff's contract? Is that through the sheriff's contract? So we don't know nothing about it?
I don't know.
Are we even allowed to back out?
What would the board like to see?
I mean, boats aren't gonna get any cheaper. It's unfortunate that we got an extra $10,000 cost, but we have one boat, people enjoy going on the water. I say we get it ordered and just eat it.
We have 10,000 for R&M on boats, and then 15,000 each year in our budget for outlay for replacing boats, which this is what we're doing. It's not something that's done every year, so that 15 in our budget, as long as we keep that boat more than 2 years, then that's 30 that we have budgeted for replacing boats. So
Next year, we won't probably have to use that line.
right. Not kind of wood, fingers crossed, but yeah, so it is there in the budget. Understanding from Lynn that yes, we're 80% spent and 75% away through the year. And I really don't like giving them our business with blowing a fast one on the fees. I mean, if we table this, it would have to be all the way till September, basically, right? Because the August meeting is going to be taken up mostly by budget finalization.
I don't know.
I can keep looking and see if I can find anything else, if you guys would like to give it not to exceed, and then I could hopefully find somebody that's not them, that just do this extra charge.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would be in favor of, because like Grant just said, the proposal amounts have changed, they're not like good for very long. And so, it's been a little bit, maybe it makes sense to re-explore some options, make sure that we're getting like final cost for everything, and then reevaluate.
Do we want to approve a not to exceed for 30, which is closer to what we approved last month, in line with what 2 years of capital outlay for replacing boats would be? And if they can find something like that, then they'd be able to move on it right away versus waiting until September for us to talk about it again.
That's good.
You guys can buy through the
26.
sheriff's contract and save, it's only 10% above cost. The CDD can buy through the sheriff's contract. We've been doing it, this has been done a long time.
Okay, so, I'm in favor of, like I said, waiting, getting a little bit more information and making sure that we're getting the best price that we can. I know it kind of sucks because it's hot, people want to be out on the water, but, if we could potentially be saving $20,000+, maybe it's worth waiting one more month.
Yeah.
Agree.
I'll go ahead and move to approve a not to exceed for 30,000 for replacing the boat, which would require them doing more research.
Well, that's what, some residents are saying that we might, so I don't think it's a bad idea to just reevaluate the options.
Once again, nobody's seconding, so.
Yeah, I guess, I'll second that.
So a motion by Dan, second by Lucas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Marcella, you didn't say aye or nay.
I'm just thinking that, we're hesitant about 5 or 10,000 about Christmas trees. I think we need to put the same consideration behind a boat. Even though, it was we started at 27, I kind of want to explore exactly what that total would be from what Mike mentioned through the sheriff's office and all of that. And again, yes, it's an inconvenience, but we're talking about Christmas trees in the teens, and we're about to, write a check for 40,000. So maybe
Use the 30 with the 10%, and your money goes further. You can still
that's
do
fine. But no one's coming to the table with an exact amount. What I don't want to vote for is to just give free reign for something where
It'll be a not to exceed.
Yeah,
It has to be better than what they've already presented us with.
I
They might
thought
not.
27 was pretty darn good when we voted on it last time.
Yeah, we're not, I just did quick search, but we're
I-
not gonna get much cheaper than $30,000 budget, so.
I'm a no. I'm a no right now.
We're gonna find a boat less than 30K.
So I had 3 yeses, there were 2 noes. Correct?
Who was the other S?
I heard there was a motion and a second.
And Julie said yes, right?
I haven't said anything.
Yeah, I know you did.
So he said he wants 30
Not
from
60.
26
I don't
to
hate
30.
that
I said not to exceed 30, Lucas
But
wants
we're
to
not
go
gonna be
5.
able to find
It's
anything
like,
for less than 30.
we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that.
So should we?
How about
Two gentlemen that are shaking their head yes.
All
Can
right.
we,
I'm a yes.
can I read that?
All right, so I have a motion by Dan, a second by Lucas.
Hold on. Can we can we approve not to exceed the 30, was it 37 with the 10K? Is that the total amount?
That's what.
With the ability for Berman to go explore other options?
Are you guys open to like, are we open to discussion still? Can I like try to sway you at all?
You're a board member, you can do what you want.
Well, no, I mean, I just don't know if anyone's a hard, like,
No,
hard.
I want to get the vote. I think
I want to get the vote too.
Yeah.
I get emails on it every day. I want to get the vote, but, and I don't know, obviously this is like very informal to be engaging with like the front row of the residents, but like, if that has any merit, then I feel like we're kind of being a little bit reckless by not at least exploring it if there's a potential of like, you know, double-digit percentage in savings. And, you know,
The not to exceed would cover that.
I don't know, it's just hard to make a vote here when I'm not looking at hard numbers or real data.
Not to exceed contingent upon using the sheriff's discount.
Sure, yeah, let's,
Alright.
yeah, let's do it. I mean,
Not to exceed.
The motion was for 30K not to exceed to replace the vote.
well,
Contingent on the possible, of at
if we
least.
get a 10% discount, we're not going to get under the 30 grand.
Well, see, it was, he didn't even say 10%, he said 10% above
Cost, yes.
above
That-
cost, which
that's
is
the
way more than
direction.
10% off.
If they fail, then they'll be back in September and we won't have our vote yet, which is the same thing if we vote no on the 37.
That's why I was saying we approve the not to exceed limit of the boat that we need to buy,
Okay.
contingent on the negotiations and the sheriff's 10% discount. That's what I'm trying to make
That
it
guarantees,
clear.
that guarantees us we get the vote, we might spend a little more, but let's, so.
Or explore the option.
Right. Well, we had the motion, do we have a vote?
Oh, wait, can we say
Please, I will retract my motion for 30,000.
Do I need to?
I want to hear the motion.
I retracted mine.
Okay.
So what's the total amount? Is it 37 exact?
It's 36, it's 200 and something.
Okay. 36,000, not to exceed 36,200 and whatever he said. With the negotiations of the sheriff's discount and potentially getting a cheaper boat, not to exceed that value.
So there's a first by Lucas,
I'll second it.
second by Brittany. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's how you work together.
Next up, we are
that was a
voting
good
for
example.
fitness instruction classes.
Hello. So this is the night that we're going
Getting a boot.
back to
We can't hear you later, please, let's, you got yours.
So I've had some communication with the resident via email regarding a potential recurring fitness instructional class to be taking place 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Saturday, every Saturday.
Where?
Lakeshore.
Park.
Yeah, Lakeshore Park Soccer. And that would be the standard, they are paid classes, so that would be the standard $250 deposit, along with $5 an hour for however long they're out there for, contingent on them filling out the recreation for everything else. So there's board approval on that. She also provided some community support statements as well, and we also received insurance and certificates from her as well.
Yeah, and normally you guys would be able to approve one-time requests like this, but since it's for an ongoing, it's here before the board, I'll move to approve it.
I am going to say, can we talk about it a little bit? I mean, because continually on recurring reservation, you know, in 8 to 9 a.m. during the summer, like that's prime time for people to be out before like the hottest hour of the day. And so I think we keep saying that we're going to go back and redo our fees, and we haven't done that yet. But I think to give one person exclusivity for just ongoing is, let's rethink that a little. Maybe we could approve like something like 4 weeks and then reevaluate.
I do want to say, she said she would be here in person.
I'm here.
There you are.
Okay. Yeah.
We should up our fee.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing us to spend time on proposals. I really do appreciate it. Oh, sorry, hello.
Yes, speak to the microphone.
Directly into it.
Face the mic.
Yes, I am willing to work with the board, however they want. I'm just really excited to start this with the community. I've sent in statements from community members that do want to participate. I am RRCA certified coach, and that means I have an oath of
Thank
So
you.
there, do you have a specific spot? I know you mentioned the soccer field, but there's an area to the left of the soccer field that is in like the St. Augustine grass area. Would you be okay doing your class there?
Yes, that.
Just in case if the soccer field is busy or we don't have the availability. I think that would probably be a good location.
She said she'd be flexible. I guess the only question is, do we want to put a limit on this initial approval or just approve it?
Just redo.
I'm
Is this
for
good for a year?
Are we move
I'll
forward?
second.
Motion by Dan, second by Lucas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Well, I'm technically opposed, not because I don't love the idea, I do, I just feel like we should get a little bit more tight with the semantics of it, but good luck.
Okay, so no Brittany.
Yes, unfortunately.
Motion carries. Next up, a resident reached out about if we would be sending a cease and desist letter to the golf course regarding them, I guess, messing with our ponds. We discussed this a couple months ago, but he requested from me the formal cease and desist. I did not have council draft one. That was not the direction from the board, so I just wanted to bring it back from the board to see if you would like council to prepare a cease and desist to ensure that the golf course is not trimming the ponds that belong to us.
Are we having an issue with that, sir?
It was brought up either last month or the month before about ponds and making sure that some people are trimming all the way down to the water. Nick was getting different. Residents were like, why aren't you? And then this gentleman brought up that the golf course is messing with our ponds and he wanted to see a cease and desist go out.
Okay, I mean, I don't know, I haven't heard that the golf course is messing with our ponds, but if they are, then we should probably ask them not to. I hate to see like legal dollars spent for a cease and desist without seeing it's like a little excessive as step one, so I would say no.
Did we reach out to the GM Mike and ask him about this at all?
Right, that's what I'm saying, that should be step one.
Right, well,
We have not, I didn't know that it was that.
Is it an issue? Like,
I only heard from one resident. I've not gotten any pictures or anything anyone saying. It was a little bit talked about, so I thought it was done, we were good, but then the resident reached out and I said I would bring it before the board to see if you guys wanted any formal action taken.
okay, I would want our district engineer's input on it. He's already here tonight and, talking hours and whatever, so it's not an added cost to get his input, and same with Mike as well. The meeting tonight is when we can get input on that. We have had resident concerns on maintenance, just on our own ponds as
For
well.
sure.
So
Totally
within that context, I'm willing to consider it, but let's do it in the context of once we have the district engineer report later on.
The resident said this follows several incidents where the tree shrub were removed specifically around CDBU ponds, resulting in severe bank erosion. I believe it's essential to hold the golf course accountable for their action and ensure we operate strictly within our property boundaries.
I'm just so confused. Is this do we have reports on this? Like what? Is this an issue?
That's in David's realm of ownership there, so we can, I don't know if we want to jump to him now, or we have the district engineer's report.
I'll make it brief, you got a lot going on tonight. There are several ponds owned and maintained by the golf course. We have a lot, majority of it CDD owns and operates, and there's a few within the lakes that are HOA. Some of the ponds were permitted to have a vegetated shoreline, some were not. So if you want a clear distinction, which ones we should be clearing and which ones we should, I'll simply bring an exhibit next meeting to clarify the confusion.
That would be most
Yeah.
helpful,
Homeowners.
thank you. So for now, I say no, let's not send the cease and desist.
Well, yeah, we're taking action on verifying the severity of the issue, and that we're making the right action in doing that, so.
Great.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Blake.
All right, so our next item is going to be the parking violations over on 5 Oaks. We received a couple of emails from a couple of concerned residents regarding, I know we had some talk about it at the beginning of the meeting as well, with issues with parking on 5 Oaks and being over the line, in the way of the bike lane, and things like that. And I wanted to see, set the agenda today for the board to review and see what our options are regarding signage. I know for that, there will be a county item, permission from the county or otherwise. So I guess that would also be a question for Mike regarding what our authority is and what we'll be able to do if the board wants to move forward with signage.
Yeah, I believe he has some of that in his report.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can just deal with that real quick. So the CDD does not have traffic
the CBD does not have police powers. So when I say police powers, I mean more than just for police officers. I'm talking about zoning, traffic enforcement, those sort of things. Those are reserved for the county. So the county is the one that has to be able to post the signage and enforce it and enforce towing zones that the county creates. We have tried to get the county, I would say we haven't climbed all the steps on the ladder at the county at this point, but we've tried to get them to pay attention to this, and they've said, the laws are already there, we just need to enforce them. When I say we, I mean the county needs to enforce them. The CBD does not have that power.
Right, and we have had several residents, myself included, talking to code enforcement and sheriff's office all the way up to Commissioner Booth. I'll do a quick summary. The issue here is there are striped marked parking spaces all along 5 Oaks that are just, those are there as legal, they're independent parking areas that if supposedly a vehicle can legally park there. It should just be for people visiting. It shouldn't be people just leaving their RVs and campers, trailers there. So what we had David start looking at a couple months ago was having the county recognizing this issue and giving us a better way to enforce it, add striping for individual spaces along those. Right now it's just one long continuous parking lot that anyone can, in many cases legally, leave a vehicle there. So that's, I believe, mentioned in your.
It's on my agenda for review.
Yep. So we have updates coming from David.
Okay, so no action right now?
Can I just ask a question? Because
We really need to keep moving, sorry.
All right, next up we have baseline construction sidewalk repair change order. Matt? Or Greg?
So this one is mainly just going to be putting on your radar baseline as they were going around. I did some walking with them yesterday. There are a few spots that they missed. It's 22 miles. It's very hard to get everything. There's a big one over by the splash pad right next to the bathrooms. There's like a almost 3-inch difference between 2 pieces of pavement. So just as they keep going along, I've asked them to keep taking pictures and stuff. I notice probably going to be at the September meeting when they're further along. They have a more complete report. They're going to be proposing some change orders, and I just wanted to let you guys know that was coming.
Thank you, Grant. We have our thorough analysis that was done by engineering and Supervisor Cornell that we can always reference back. Appreciate that.
All right, next up we have consideration of the easement to Toho Water Authority. Mike?
Sure, thank you. Good evening, board members. We've talked about this issue before. Toho has some facilities located on district property towards the front of the community. They previously wanted the district to deed over part of their property to Toho for their infrastructure that's there. The board said that we're not interested in deeding the property, but that we would consider an easement. In your agenda package are really the 3 things you need to pay attention to. Is one is they're offering to pay a little over $3,000 for this easement. I think you remember before they were offering to pay maybe $5 for a deed, so it's still close for that. The only distinction in the agenda package, there's 2 forms of easement, and one of which has my comments in it, and one of which does not. And specifically in the version of the easement that I recommended, or would recommend to the board, it has a abandonment clause in there, which basically says if Toho stops using the easement for 3 or more years, then the easement is abandoned and the district's property would no longer be subject to the easement. Toho has pushed back and said, we don't want that in there. And I asked, well, why? And they said, well, because we have a form. And so I'm dealing with somebody who's arguing with me that they have to keep their form the same no matter what. So it's up to the board which version of the easement you want me to tell them that you would be willing to approve, and then we can go from there at the next meeting. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, real quick. So if we accepted theirs, the difference would be, let's say they did abandon it, we would have to take additional action to then rescind that easement, having been abandoned, and you want to have it automatically after 3 years. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, if they don't use it for 3 years and the easement would be abandoned, probably nothing would be recorded in 3 years because we're not maintaining it, or we're not monitoring it. But what would happen is we wanted to make a road out of that at some point in time, and they've not used it for 5 years. Well, then we can go ahead and pave the road over that easement because that infrastructure what you deal with when you have infrastructure that's going to become obsolete, because the technology has changed a lot, and it will continue to change a lot. And this is probably an issue I'm trying to protect against after I will be long gone. But it's up to the board which version you want to tell them you're willing to accept.
Mike, I just have a question for clarification, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong. Did we have three options when this first came in, which was A, to deed it, B, to give them the easement, or B, do nothing? And just let them continue using it as they have been? Am I right?
Right now we have, yeah, sort of, close. So they came in and they wanted the deed. So they weren't offering an easement and they weren't offering for us to do nothing. I told the board, you're not obligated to give them a deed under your current agreement that you have with TOA. You are obligated to give them, to let them use your land for those facilities, and the easement makes a lot of sense so that everybody understands, what the rights are. So I think your choices here today are do nothing, okay, and then they'll keep coming at you to try to get it, and ultimately they could try to take it by eminent domain. The second thing is to agree to their form of easement, which would come with the payment. And then the third option would be to say, hey, we want the abandonment language in there, and we want the cash. If you want to get this done, it's not unreasonable for us to ask that if you guys abandon this, then our property's not going to be subject to an easement or something that doesn't exist anymore.
Right, but if we didn't, if we used their agreement and then they abandoned it, then we would have to take an additional action to rescind that easement. But if we do that, then the end result's the same. Is that correct?
If we agree to their form and they abandon it, the easement's still going to be an encumbrance on your property.
Okay, guys, remember when we first got this letter, it was like, give us the deed or don't. And I was like, well, let's not. We don't have to. They can just keep using it, right? And then it was like, okay, well, now we can do an easement. I still think that we haven't had any problems up until this point.
Yeah.
Why not just continue to let them use it as they have been? We keep our land, and I mean,
They want legal protection.
yeah, they do.
Right now
We're
saying
not.
we're fine, but they don't.
We don't
want it.
have to give it to them. And I know we can be like, oh, well, maybe they're gonna go for eminent domain. Well, maybe a lot of things, guys, but right now, like, I don't think we have to do this, and I don't think there's any benefit to us for $3,000.
They're offering to pay for it, and it's part of the water infrastructure that benefits all of our.
Yeah, but
community.
like Mike just said, if we decide we wanna build a bridge or whatever, a road, whatever the case may be, now we have to wait to see if they're gonna write, like, what's the benefit to us of giving it up?
There's a lot more benefit to them in this, and I definitely don't agree with just, I don't know if I would go as far as telling them to, pound sand, but in a way, we don't have to agree to anything, and we can just move on and let it be their problem because we have enough of our own.
Exactly.
So, and also if we were good to agree, I surely wouldn't agree to their format. Tell them to get a new form if that was something we would consider. But
So
we can move on.
Then why don't we approve that? We'll say yes, pending they accept our terms.
No, I didn't say that. I said that that was a better bad option. That is definitely a better bad option. We can also, her option is perfectly valuable too. It is their problem right now, and we have a lot on the table. It's not gonna, definitely don't agree with giving them their terms because they said so or said pretty please. Their form is junk, and if that's all we're considering, my vote's no. But if you want to add that language, I definitely would be more on board with that language, but we don't have to choose today.
Well, guys,
this is their thing, let them ask next month. Maybe we'll be in a better mood.
And guys, we don't have to do anything. There's no reason that legal should be drawing up.
So
I'm glitching.
Okay.
We're not throwing money at this
Are
problem.
we dismissing the statement that they could, if we keep ignoring them, pursue eminent domain to take it by force?
They're not gonna, it's not gonna happen next month, but they're not gonna.
Well, they're going, yeah, with eminent domain, they're just gonna come and take it. I mean, if that's a possibility, we might as well deed it with the clause and get the money, rather than them take it and we get nothing.
No,
eminent domain doesn't happen in a month, guys. I mean,
I
Well,
agree.
we keep on dragging this out. That's why it's like, let's make a decision, not do anything. It's gonna come up again, and legal's still gonna be working on it.
I could care less about the easement here, but I do have concerns about Mike's time utilized to
Yes.
do these things. So if Mike, if we say no, we say, hey, we're not accepting your offer, what's the chances of them coming back and potentially taking it from us or legal battles or whatever?
Yeah, I think you do have, Toho's going around at all the assets that they have now and trying to button up and get easements on places where there's stuff. So I don't think it's going away. I think you'll continue to spend some money on dealing with it. My recommendation is the easement form that has the abandonment language in it, that if they abandon it, then the rights revert to you. I think that was very reasonable. I think the cost they're offering, it's something, it's not, but we're not going to go out and get appraisal. It'll cost us more to get appraisal than that they're offering. So my recommendation is that you, to the extent that you want to put this behind you and minimize costs, is to approve the easement with my comment incorporated and tell them that's conditioned upon them still paying the fee that they're offering. And then if they don't want to do that, then we say, okay, well, come back and talk to us when you've got more reasonable, but we're not going to consider any more items on this to keep our fees down.
Okay, I kind of like that.
What's the offer again? Was it 3 or 5? I'm sorry.
30-something thousand, or 3,000 something.
The deed was 5,000, but that was a couple months ago. This is just for an easement, which is, we're not giving, they don't own the land, they just have a right to use the land.
They're set aside.
Well, since you're drawing up, if you were to draw this up anyway, couldn't we counter at 5 with the language?
I can counter whatever the board directs me to do.
I just think like if they offered 3, they're willing to pay
$1,200 worth of.
And we could very quickly go through that much by dragging out the legal process.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve Mike's write-up of this contract with Toho.
I'll second.
Sorry.
We have a motion and a second, so now we can keep discussing. No, you can discuss. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify, so if we're going to agree to, whatever, draw the easement language at the offer, but if they say no, it's a no, like come see us next month. I think we could, if the board really feels inclined to settle this right now, I personally, I'm going to stand on what I said. I don't think that this is a today problem, but I also don't want to, run the risk of spending extra money. I would say if you even want to if he's going to drop the work anyway, I would come back at 5 and ask them for the language, and the worst they can do is say no, and then this is next month's problem or whatever. But if they're paying 3 or offering 3, they're willing to pay 5, so.
So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. Nay.
Marcella, what are you?
I was amazed. There's already 3 years, so it doesn't matter.
Motion carries.
Yeah, and the work's already done, just so you all know.
Thank you, Mike.
Next up,
And I'll report to the board next meeting.
we have
Don't worry about it, it's already done.
I feel like it's so fast.
consideration of resolution 2026-07, adopting
There wasn't
legal
anything,
practices
I wasn't even comfortable by where
standards for
he wasn't
fiscal
gonna
year
let it go until the dog was gone.
2027. These are the same overall goals you guys previously approved, we're just updating the dates for the next year.
Move to approve.
Did you make a motion?
I did.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And next up, we review and acceptance of the arbitrage rebate report for the Series 2014 bonds from LLS Tax Solutions. I'll note that there was no cumulative rebate liability incurred, so there is no need to file with the IRS. I'm just looking for a motion to accept.
A motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have reviewing acceptance of the arbitrage rebate report for the Series 2015 bonds from LLS Tax. There's no cumulative rebate liability incurred, so there's no need to file with the IRS. Just looking for a motion to accept.
Motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have ratification of the master services supplies agreement with fees. Dan signed this outside of a meeting. We've done so much work with him, so a work authorization would be more appropriate than doing an agreement every time. So I'm just looking for a motion to ratify. There's no cost with this agreement.
Motion.
Wait, I'm sorry, I just want to understand. So, in layman's terms, they can do work and then bill us for it, they don't need to get pre-approval first?
We just do a work authorization instead of a full-blown agreement every time, just like we do with Nick. You guys see the work authorization. After you guys approve something, I just fill out the work authorization form. We sign that versus an agreement every time.
Gotcha, okay. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, this doesn't.
It is.
Go ahead,
It's
Mike.
a money saving, it's a money saving thing that the management is in.
Right, it doesn't tie us into using them forever or whatever.
Okay.
It's just,
Correct.
it simplifies the process. I'll move to approve.
Okay, there was a motion by Julia, second
Then I'll
by...
second.
Second by Dan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And next up, we have ratification and payment authorizations number 34 through 40. These have already been approved and paid and just need to be ratified by the board today.
So moved.
Ratify.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And next up, we review the district's financial statements through the month of June. As I've stated, we've currently spent 80% of the district's budget. We still have July, August, and September, and we still have 2 months after that to incur any
August and September.
Wow.
So it's 2 months.
So we're right on track.
We're on track, right? It's 2 months, right?
No,
It's 3 plus 2 more.
because we're always behind. You're getting June's financials.
Oh.
We haven't closed out July, so next month you'll see July.
Right, that's true.
So that's not part of, okay, that calculation.
So it's always behind because we don't get everything to close out until the end of the month. The month is still going. No action is required. Next up, we have proposals from ULS. So the first 3 work authorizations have already been performed. I'm just looking for the board's ratification today. These were all mainline breaks and emergency items that myself and your chair handled.
You want me to ratify?
A motion to ratify.
Motion to ratify.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Now,
And now,
hold on real quick. We've had the issue with this before. Where we have these main breaks, are they reaching, are we making sure that we are monitoring that they, if they cross the threshold for reimbursement from Toho after the repairs have been made?
I wouldn't know on that end.
I can tell you, so Toho's policy is that it has to be double the previous bill, and it always falls originally. So we're not going to
Sorry, something over again.
and
Okay.
It just
we
never.
get alerts and then alert Nick that something is wrong and Nick immediately handles. But Nick,
We previously, back about a year ago at the start of you guys serving as district manager, asked for the irrigation to be like tracked specifically. Could we have some of that output from that added to the agenda, just so it's obviously it's an ongoing issue, and basically it's just like tracking on a per plot basis of where's all the water going.
Like the bills?
Yeah, it's like we can maybe discuss how it presented, but it's a big issue. I think we should go as far as putting it into the agenda so we have it just for better visibility.
The letters we get from Toho?
Well, no, this is more maybe a Corona thing, just we get a bill for each, station that.
we do track that. Verona, are you still sending that out every month?
Yes, he gets them. The board gets them. I'll add the new board remember to it.
Right, I'm saying can we just have that added to the agenda
No problem. I can do that.
that was it.
Nick, your turn for the 3 new work authorizations.
So with the main lines, there's miles of piping, a lot of it's old, some of it's more than 20 years old, so we're finding a lot of breaks. A lot of it is due to tree roots, some of it could be related to, construction, when they put the fence down on the highway. So when they pop up, we get notified. Sometimes we try to get the water at least shut off, at least while the repair is scheduled. Unfortunately, the main lines do take priority over, a sprinkler being broken, so this has probably been one of our heavier months with irrigation. But when those emergencies do happen, we do put those at the top of the list and try to stop the bleeding, so to speak. Having said that, we've had 3 other notifications in the past 2 weeks. We had them scheduled from in front of the school to back up by 192, and we have one right now, and it's literally underneath a pine tree. So we were trying to reroute these away from areas where we can, but they do take time, and those repairs have been made, but we
there is 3 more scheduled for the first and second week of August. We did shut the meters off. A gentleman, you said previously that they shut the meter off as well. We did go look at 1 o'clock in the morning to make sure. I mean, they're gonna happen, it's gonna continue to happen. But we try to keep our, hand on it and try to respond as quick as we can to these emergencies.
Yes, and thank you, Nick. I know that that was after hours and you still were out there at 12 and 1 a.m., so thank you. And yeah, Mike did go out there and probably save us all a couple $100 on water, so thank you.
I appreciate you. That's actually early in the morning.
So for these new work authorizations, there's the entrance to the estates, that was brought up. Oh, sorry, you're not there yet?
So with that particular proposal, there is a report, and it's an inspection report. Now, what I did was I surveyed the entire entrance, and on the proposal, they're all itemized. So if you guys are like, hey, listen, we want to meet you in the middle, we like the idea of putting the plans, but we want to wait on the sod as it's an expensive item, I certainly can go back to my laptop, table that, and put that on another line item, just sod. But that is a report, and that proposal reflects everything in that report. Each item is a photograph and a plan count and a resolution how to resolve it. So that is for the estates, and I will say, and if you look at it, there's part of that area that's dead. It's not going to come back. Some of these areas, I said I don't recommend putting anything back, like the ligustrum trees. The canopy just won't sustain, it's already there. So I tried to save what we could, but at the same time, I do want to put that report there and identify the problems at the entrance of the estates. The other item, I don't know if you want me just to go through all of them at once, and you guys can vote.
Go for it.
Is a routine flower rotation. It's for a contracted price. There is zero change there. Not much to really talk about there. The other is for missing 2 oak trees on Catfire. I do know that people were saying well, maybe the resident removed them. Actually, that's not what happened. There's a gap there because that used to be a parking lot to the entrance of the model home that sits on the right. Those trees were never there. So when they decided to build, it must have been long after everything else, and 2 trees never went there. I didn't really notice it until it was pointed out to me, and then if you're driving on Capri, there is just this big wide open spot. So the proposal just reflects putting in 2 oak trees and also the bubblers and the necessary pipe needed to come from the side of the curb to water them under warranty. And we do water that area, so we would extend the warranty for those 2 trees.
Would you?
We're out on Catfire?
If you're going down and you're heading toward Cross Lake, it would be on the left-hand side in the homes, and it'll be thick oak trees, and all of a sudden, there's 2 missing. I did account for a light there, but there is still, I stepped it twice, the person went out there, it is missing 2 trees. It did speak with the neighbors, so they were never there.
I'm thinking it's somebody we can find.
There should be 2 trees there.
Okay.
Where are you gonna find what?
Money for Christmas lights.
I am definitely in favor of the second 2. I want to look at what our lines of the spend was on landscaping improvements. We have so many, several different line items that we can potentially take it from. I'll move to approve all 3 for 20.
To approve what?
All 3 of the United proposals to fix the entrance to the estates, including the sod, the flower rotation, and the missing trees on Caprara.
I think that all sounds lovely, and I have been a huge advocate for getting something done over at the estates. I know they've been wanting their front redone. However, maybe we should take it one by one rather than doing them all at once.
I'll say the estates entrance, that was already being deferred because when it was first brought to our attention, we were in the drought. It would have been wasteful to try doing it then.
Yeah, we did defer that.
So it's a problem that's not going to go away.
So maybe we can start with that one, since that one's been on the list the
Well,
longest.
Well, and the second one for sure, because that's not a change, that's just the regularly budgeted
perennials?
flower rotation for
The
annuals.
perennials?
For-
I say, can we table the tree?
So what I did was, how many proposals that are of that size, if you look at the actual proposal, I itemized everything, so if the board's like, hey, listen, you want
I
to
saw it.
provide relief, but let's, wait on this item. This item, I do not recommend that you wait on it, it's totally in the right spot, however,
I'm sorry, you don't recommend wait on what?
Takes the mic.
Thank
I
you.
don't recommend that you eliminate any plant material, mulch or trees.
Okay.
If I were to suggest an area you could save, I would say wait on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just acknowledge that it still needs to be done. We've never changed it out, and there is 4 varieties of turf there. I am also limited on the species of plants because we have deer. And they like to eat certain plants here that I've learned. Apicola, we can't do those anymore. I did speak with some of the residents, kind of have an idea, I know this sounds weird, I have an idea where this deer are hanging out. So that's the best.
They're in games.
Okay, so the side line item, that's 5,049.
Yeah.
So if we were to approve all 3 of them, except for the St. Augustine side in front of the estates, then that would be I'm not going to do that math in my head, about 10,000.
Yeah, it would be, what I would do is I would just go back to my laptop, remove that line item, and you would have a savings of $5,049, and I would resend the proposal, and I would adjust, I would leave it in the report, so that way I did identify it to you, and it would just be mentioned in the minutes, and then I could send that to you guys tomorrow.
Right, and then the trees are about 1,500, so, a tenth of that
That's
full
2
amount.
trees.
So I would be in favor of approving all 3 minus the side as Nick described.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Are-
carried.
Okay.
Did you want to?
No, I was just wondering, because you said you would be comfortable with like tabling the trees. I'm just thinking like,
No,
no, you weren't comfortable with the tabling the 2 live oak trees.
Oh, so that's part of the aesthetic, I'm just letting, it was brought to me.
So it's not,
It's a purely aesthetic thing.
it's, okay,
Yeah, they're just missing, it happens pretty often here.
okay.
Yeah, it's not like a safety issue or anything, but in comparison to
Is
the
it-
biggest budget item here, I'm comfortable adding that much to the work order that's been at here, 1,500 on the 50,000 total work order to fix the estates and so on.
I'm a nay, only because I would be more in favor of doing all 3 separate, so.
So, made by Brittany, Marcella?
No, I'm more comfortable with approving. I actually would want to table the trees as well. That would save some money there, and we can have the work get started on the rest of it, minus the mulch and the 2 trees. That wouldn't be a problem for the estates anyways, because the trees are on, the 2 missing
So
trees are on.
You
I
have
still have
motion,
three.
yes or no to their
Just
motion?
yes or no?
No,
Okay, motion carries.
I'm sorry, I totally wasted your time there.
No, it's not wasting time. It's
No, and
I
this
was
is your
on
first
board.
meeting,
I
you
just
should
think-
be asking
Balance,
questions, I know it's a
moving,
lot really fast.
Yeah.
letting everyone, not
I get it.
Just to
I'm-
be clear, it was clear, but to remove the sod, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Not doing the side right now.
Yeah.
All right, next up we
I
have,
appreciate that. That was a good suggestion.
next up we have items from Berman. First up, we have the bench proposals.
Okay, so across the property, we found 3 benches that are completely broken, and we can't repair because we don't have no parts. So we got 3 quotes for the same exact thing that we have here, which is the heritage style. Wilco offers it for $2,349 because those are pretty much replicas. The other 2 quotes are the real deal, steel legs and all that stuff. So that's why the other 2 quotes are over $12,000.
Where are these located at?
So one is over by here, right? And
Dark sky.
by one of the parts over here and over on this side.
Down
Like over here.
Which one of these, did you,
Yeah.
Which one of these three is most comparable to what's there right now?
Oh, well, these are exactly.
The three are identical.
All of them? Yeah, the same style.
No, the first one, the really
It's-
goes,
it's a
the
replica.
plastic.
Yeah, it's a replica of the first one.
It's plastic. The other
But
ones
it's
are.
the style is the same, everything looks the same, it's just.
It's a different material.
What's the material on the second?
The,
It's iron.
so the other two are steel legs with the recycled plastic seating.
Okay.
in the back.
And we
The other one is completely plastic.
What's like the specs on that? Are they like, do they last as long? Are they more durable? Are they more like easy to maintain?
So from the reviews I've been reading, they're exactly the same, they last just as long. And it's pretty much like what we have here.
We're not a historic district, we don't have to replace like for like.
What's that?
We're not a historic district. We
Oh.
don't have to replace like for like.
Yeah. No, I think like given what you're saying, I would absolutely vote for the one that's 2,300 then.
Yeah, as long as they last. I don't. I guess it's recycled plastic, so I mean it should.
The seating is plastic, anything.
And we have some of those recycled plastic.
Right, I was gonna say the seating on some of those are plastic already, so this is a pretty similar, yeah.
Or do you want to make a motion?
I will make a motion for the 234901 ones.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And next up, we have consideration, the proposal for Ashley Park pool main drain.
So, we brought that up on the last meeting, and, they are scheduled to expire December for a sprinkler. And Ashley Pool in January. So we kind of have to start getting ready for that.
And there's, looks like one, Jonathan, if I'm correct, one Almar Enterprise said they'll do 1,800 for all of them, and Spees quoted two separate prices for, or three separate prices.
Correct.
Has anyone ever worked with Almar?
No.
Do we know the quality?
No.
And that's a huge price difference.
Yep. And
That's all I want to point out.
Speeds did the previous ones, and that was a whole other records.
I know, but I feel like we've justified that reason right there to pay Spees more than any other quotes that we've gotten, just because like, oh, we've worked with them in the past, we've worked with them in the past, and we almost like, obviously not you, Jonathan, I'm sorry, I'm looking at you, and it's not what you. But, you know, we've used that as a rationale to go with the more expensive option, and while it does make sense to use, you know, a vendor that we have history with and knows our stuff, I mean, at some point, maybe we should reevaluate.
My
We
only
don't,
thing is that it's a major price difference. You know, Speeds is charging, I think, $1,500 for each one. The other company's charging $1,500 for all three.
well, it says replace, oh, that's the drain covers.
Did they give you a reason why?
Yeah.
Or, and they have to be certified and sent to the
Yep,
health
and they
inspection.
said they'll provide the same certificates and all that stuff, so. What they're saying, that's what is covered, is the same thing as Speeds.
I mean, we're basically charging a fourth of the cost, right? Which is a little bit of a red flag, sure. So maybe we do our checks and balances, but I would say let's definitely go for the one where we're gonna have a quarter of the price, and you know, contingent on the fact that we're gonna do our due diligence, you know, like make sure that we're not missing anything blatantly obvious, and that they have the proper insurances, licensures, etc., that are required. But for a quarter of the cost, I say we take a chance.
Am I missing something?
And I
that
just want to
says
the order
that-
where we have 29 minutes left.
All right. It says both the quotes say replace 4, and they're all the same price. Am I missing something? It says replace 4, replace 4.
The Spees is.
Oh, 14. Okay, so all right, total 1495.
Okay, but the other one is 18.
1800 for the other one.
Okay.
Jonathan, do they have the same warranty?
No, it's just,
So why couldn't
5 years, I think is what they're.
Is it standard amongst both of them? Okay,
Yeah,
amongst the industry.
That's, from the health department.
What's that?
The health department requires it to be
Oh,
5
okay, well, that's reassuring.
Why did they
Okay, yeah,
split up
I mean,
the-
so
Yeah,
I'll make a
it's
motion.
like-
It's Ash- I think it's Ashley Park and there's the
We've
Okay.
been bit by using cheap contractors on the pool before and seeing bigger, issues after the fact, but given the warranty, I'm good. I'm fine with this.
Motion by James.
Yeah, I'll move for the, no, for Atlantis.
Okay.
Atlantis.
Me
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have consideration of the rest rescue boat motor proposals. Jonathan, Murray?
So as you guys know, about a month ago, it was a little over that, there was a really bad storm and it damaged the rescue boat. The rope snapped, it ended up underneath that metal part of the dock and it took the top of the motor off that boat. So I have been trying to find parts. As you guys might have seen, this was updated today because I just got confirmation from the vendor. That part, it's called the top cowling of the motor, is on nationwide back order. There's none in the nation. When they're shipped from, I think, Japan, it's Yamaha. I asked them how long it might be before they could get more. They couldn't give me an exact date, but it's going to be over 2 months. So I brought that as an option. That is about, I want to say it's $550. You guys have it in front of you. Sorry, I forget the exact number. But I also brought 2 actual motors that we could get much sooner if we want to bring the rescue boat back quicker.
So if you get this replacement part, are you confident you can fix the motor?
The motor's not damaged, right?
Well, there was one coil damage and there was a hose that was damaged. They've already reattached the hose. The motor turns on with the coil, sometimes it jumps. So that one is easier to fix. It's really just the top part, but it's still going to be a while before we can get that operational. We can't use the boat without that top part because if you go in the water, we keep it covered right now with a plastic bag. If it gets water in, it's going to damage the motor further and we're going to have to get to it anyway.
Did we not have another motor?
Not with the gas motor.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking reorder the part and get.
Do any of our engines, boats have any type of insurance?
I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow.
Now, the top cowling is already covered under insurance.
What's that?
The cowling is already covered under insurance.
Even if it was caused by storm damage? Okay.
Yeah, it is. It should be covered.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we have documentation that it was reported that the damage was done during the storm, so that might give us some coverage.
The only issue with that is the part's $535.
Well, you might not want to file a claim for that, but you said that there might be another issue with the actual motor. So if we get into having to repair or replace the motor, then we'll definitely want to explore the insurance option.
Yes, there was definitely another issue if we did.
With, out of the 2, which one do you recommend? Because there's only like, what, $40 difference?
4,000.
No, it's 52.
Oh, you're talking about between these two?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was kind of thinking if we wanted to order the part and we have a long lead time for that, and we order a motor in parallel, then we'll have a spare motor potentially for any issues that could come in the future.
So do you like the Yamaha or the Toyota?
So the Yamaha is the exact same model as what we currently have.
Okay.
The reason I gave another one as well is because, this part is on back order for 2 months. Hopefully we don't get that again in the future, but there's always that possibility. So
You like the Yamaha?
I do. It's what we've been using and it's worked very well so far up until this storm. It's never had an issue as far as I'm aware.
You don't have spin motors.
Is the other one on back order?
Just one more related point. Are we confident in how the boats are being secured? That if we have unexpected weather, which can happen on any given day here, that string lines are being used properly and everything to make sure there should be a way to safely tie up the boat such that this doesn't happen.
So when I went out and looked at it, this little metal ring that the rope attaches to, that part snapped off.
Right, but if the boat is tied up too tight and there's not enough room for any kind of wave action, then yes, it would be pulled up to the dock when the big swells come in from a storm. So that's part of what I said about tying it up.
I think
securing properly.
what Dan's trying to get at is we need to make sure this doesn't happen again to our boats and we're secure within proper way, making sure that if there's storms coming that we do the right things to not get them damaged in PT. So, yeah, going back to my original ideas, I mean, it sounds like we need a motor and this part is long lead time, so I think if we ordered a new motor and this part, we would have a new motor to replace the damaged one and then have a spare for the future.
Do we have
$535 to get basically a spare motor.
Well, hold on. So do we have any place to store this
Yeah.
motor if we were to purchase it?
Yes.
These are, I'm sorry, Margaret. Yeah, sorry. Are these things okay?
Parking on cat wire.
Are these things okay to be stored?
Well, like,
Yeah.
I think that
That's not a stupid question, right?
No.
I think we're jumping the gun a little bit. I mean, maybe, I just don't feel confident in this because I don't go out to the boats very often. I don't pretend to know anything about the boats, but a lot of residents that do email me regularly. George being one of them, and he on several occasions has brought up this motor. So I don't know, maybe he's confused about something. I know I'm not clear on it, so I kind of feel like I'd like to get like a full inventory of everything that we have before we spend another $5,500 on a motor.
So I guess maybe another option, so that's the 530, sorry, 535, that's, I believe, the price getting directly from Yamaha on parts. There are other marine dealers, I see this price online for maybe $1,400 that maybe have in stock, and for the pet Tom Gallo.
That's the assembly.
That's 535 from Parts View.
535 for the calendar.
Right, but with that same part number in here, there's,
That's more.
I know it's more, but we don't have the lead time issue. I'm saying that's maybe another option for us to consider.
We don't know if there's a lead time issue on that,
So
just based off.
I called three different stores and asked them if they had that part, and also asked if they had there's a new part they made. I don't know if you guys read, it says 51 somewhere in the numbers. There's a new one, it's 53, it also attaches to the same boat. That one's also on back order for months. I can keep trying if you guys would like. My main goal is to get this before you guys, before we have a 2-month gap, and that way we can't get anything done to fix this boat, because I know that's one of the top priorities here.
And then the Yamaha motor is readily available.
Yes.
Yeah,
This one?
yeah, the top one.
But this one's on back order.
Yeah, this is the replacement.
Are we paying the
That
difference?
part.
Okay, so this is in addition either way.
Well,
we don't have to.
if we want to fix the motor that still works and store it and have a spare, I think it's worth
Yeah.
$535.
Yeah. So it's like between choosing the first and the second one in addition to the 5.
Yeah.
Be smarter that way.
Yeah, that gets the vote.
So I guess I'll make a motion to purchase the Yamaha motor for $5,279.99 in addition with the motor part cowling assembly for $535.
I second.
We're sure we don't want to add, I agree with that in general, but is there any more diligence we want to do on this supposed other spare motor that CDD may or may not have?
We have a spare? We have it, yeah?
I said, we don't have, I don't feel like we have a
We don't have a
full.
whole lot of work. I'll second.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, then.
I have a motion by Lucas and second by Julie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Oh, shit.
Is it?
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion carries.
We're running out of time.
8:00?
8:30.
All right, moving on to staff reports, district council.
Yeah, I've got several items, but I'll be very brief, and so I'll just ask the board if you have questions, reach out to me separately, just given the interest of time. Number one is welcome to our new supervisor. Look forward to working with you. We will be sending you a new supervisor orientation notebook for you to have. And after you have a chance to review it, we'll probably set a call, and we can kind of go over some of the things that the district's dealing with and that the legal council is dealing with. In addition, 2 things before you leave the meeting that you need to know tonight. Number one is you are a public official. You are subject to the Sunshine Law. which means that you cannot talk to another board member about matters that may come before the board for action outside of a publicly noticed board meeting. That means that if you're at the grocery store and you see another board member, you can talk about family, vacations, that sort of thing, but you can't talk about district business such as, pond maintenance, landscape maintenance, things like that. You have to wait for a meeting. If you get the urge to talk to another board member about district business, please reach out to Lynn and ask her to include an agenda item, and the board can have that discussion in the sunshine. Second law you're subject to is the public records law, and so you will receive lots of documents from the district manager and your district council and district engineer. You don't have to keep those documents because we have copies of whatever we send you. However, once you start writing on them or taking notes, those create a new public record, which you will need to keep separate and apart from all your other records for businesses and personal records. We wouldn't want to inadvertently produce a business record or a personal record if the district received a public record request. That's the briefest explanation of those two laws I've ever provided, so we'll follow up by phone because there are some nuances there you should be aware of. The board should know from the legislative front, we are tracking those three bills. The recall bill for CDD supervisors that was signed by the governor went into effect on July 1. The electronic payment and website payment requirements, those were signed by the governor. Those will go into effect on January 1. And then finally, the sovereign immunity limit cap increases, that was vetoed by the governor. So that will not have an adverse effect on your insurance rates this year. So I want you to be aware of that. On the sidewalk contract, we did prepare that construction contract with Baseline Pine Construction since your last meeting. They had asked for a letter of credit be allowed instead of a payment performance bond. We've done that routinely, so we negotiated that letter of credit on behalf of the district to protect you in the event that the contractor were to walk off the job or we have a reason to make a claim for them not finishing. So that was done, and then finally, the last thing I'll say is, well, two things. One is we got a request for deposit for a license agreement for somebody to build a pool. I got a deposit for that. I want the engineer to look at that because it is not a flat open space that they want to go through. They want to go through a pond bank, and that has a whole bunch of different issues associated with it when you're dealing with slope, land, and water. So I'd like your engineer to take a look at that. The resident is responsible for the cost of that review out of the deposit. And then finally, I wanted to let the board know that I got contacted by a developer's attorney who is developing, I think, 27 townhome units within the community. I want to say like neighborhood G. And they are going to be making a request to the board that you accept the stormwater piping once that community is built, as well as accept the alleyways once that's built. And I'm going to request that they provide the letter, not me, and the memo to you guys for you guys to look at your August meeting. Whether you come to some sort of agreement on that in August, I don't know, but at least I wanted to get that on your radar that you had that contact. So with that said, I'll be quiet and yield my time to the rest of the staff for the meeting.
Thank you, District Council. District Engineer?
Would I have 2 minutes left? Okay. First topic, regarding the parallel parking along 5 Oaks Drive, we have reached out to the Osceola County Development Review departments. They will entertain it. We have to submit a site development permit application for the county's consideration. Just because the application will go in, they made it quite clear that they're not obligated to approve it, but will review it. So the question is, the board want me to move forward with submitting a site development permit modification for parallel parking, striping, or table until later?
I think we owe it to everyone to make every effort we can to address the issue. So I'm in favor of you doing that.
What's that? Yeah, that's the
Do I just make consensus or?
So he wants to put up stripes on Park.
Well, I think we're requesting it, so he's asking us to make a motion.
The motion will be for the change order. How much work we load them up with.
Yeah, how much, we don't know how much for this proposal.
All right, guys, we have lots of
I can't hear
comments.
you in the case of, we have about 5 minutes left, so the change order is on the agenda later, but We do have a few dollars left over for a couple of weeks, but you know, the change will be, my presentation. The question is, if the board wants to submit an application for the parallel parking.
I mean, if we put the stripes in, it can, are we saying the county can force that they're not parking in a parking spot?
Yes, we can hold directly by code enforcement. If it's a single car marked space and there's a trailer there sticking out, it's much easier for them to enforce.
Okay. I mean, I'd say we have David go do it then. I mean, but, yeah.
And for everyone, do we need to move for that?
Do we need a mo-
I mean, I just, yeah.
Sure, I'll move. So I can get that direction.
Wait, just to,
So we don't have how much money this is going to
Right,
be.
it's 8:16, so what's
I
your
know.
question? What's your question?
okay, thank you. So that area that's gonna be striped off, right, that obviously means folks are not supposed to park there.
Right.
So now
Well,
it'll
no,
be,
this will be marking it as single car parking spaces. Right now, it's just one long parking space.
anybody can park.
So they won't put
They'll still be single
Yeah,
parking spaces,
gotcha.
but they'll be marked in a way that can be enforced.
thank you for the clarification, and yes, absolutely, okay.
So we're
So there was
approving
a
on,
motion by Dan.
We're just giving David approval to go and do the work because he's asking for a little bit more.
we don't know how much this work is though.
She gets paid per hour. by the
We don't
hour.
have do you have an estimate?
We submit the application, the comments go back and forth. I couldn't guess.
Yeah. No idea.
Well, we had a motion on the
So we
second.
have a corner.
Okay, I agree.
One is to motion, and one.
I heard.
Please, the audience, we are almost done.
I second.
Wait, hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta go back to that, because that's a really good point, right? And this is a good idea, we all want this, is what we've all been wanting, right? But I don't think it's unreasonable to sort of get like an estimate of what the cost would be before we just,
He
sign on.
he doesn't know, he has to do the application, he has to.
Well,
submit it.
right, but I mean, you, I'm sure submitted these sort of applications in the past, right? There's gotta be like some sort of like,
I'm not gonna say hurry this tonight, you've given me like 3 minutes to go over like 6 things. We submit an application, the county goes back and forth with comments, just like the boat RV parking lots and the Garden Road. We went back and forth like 6 times, you all shut it down. I have no idea what's gonna happen with the county in this, and like I said, they may come back and rule against it when we go back and forth. I have an order not to exceed, I can do detailed invoices for you guys for 5 years, and I only go for the board's directions, I just need.
I don't think this is like an attack or anything, I'm just saying I
I'm not
don't feel
saying it's a attack, we got a lot
comfortable.
more
No, I know, but it just feels like you're getting a little bit defensive, this is not personal. I just don't feel comfortable voting for something without knowing what it might cost.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an
And,
unreasonable request.
counterpoint, I'm willing, this is our district engineer, we know what the problem is, we know what the path forward is.
But we
Yes,
don't know what it's gonna cost.
Right, and we could submit competitive bids to every engineering firm out there to try and do that, but this, we.
No, that's not what I'm asking,
I know,
guys. No,
yeah.
I'm not asking for anything unreasonable. Ballpark range, what is this gonna cost us? I'm not holding any.
You're asking him to predict how much back and forth he's gonna have with the county, which includes Aaron.
I'm sure this is not like, this is not the first time we're doing, or
I
that
think
this
she's
is
willing
done.
to come around. I think she's willing to come on board. I think her main concern is that we don't have any parameters here. Is it gonna cost $5,000 or 50? I think that's a huge, that's all.
Right.
Before she says let's do it. I think she's willing to, I think she's on board.
Okay, let's go. We're almost out of time. We got a motion, we got a second. Yes.
Okay. Well, if we're forced to vote right now, then yeah, then my vote is no, because we're doing it blindly. Guys, this thing costs 5,000 or 100,000. You have no idea.
And we have, we vote for yes, let's please proceed.
But at least we know.
Marcel, yes or no?
2,000.
I don't even think my vote matters.
In the comments.
Huh? I'm sorry, say that again, I'm so sorry.
2,000 fill the application out with the plans and exhibits. After that, I have no idea if the county will come back.
That's good, thank you. Thank you, that's helpful.
Marcel,
Okay, so we're like about 2,000. Well, I think overall it sounds like everybody's on board with the stripes. It might, I think it gives me a better idea of this. I guess if the two here are on it, I'm willing to take a chance on this.
motion carries. Go ahead, Jamie.
Next topic, the traffic calming study. We reached out to the Osceola County Transportation and Transit Departments. They came back with us, and we would have to submit a separate application for traffic calming application to the county to do their study. The study will be done within 45 days, and then they'll come back and report whether or not
there's enough issues to warrant traffic calming improvements. So I need the board permission to prepare and submit the traffic calming application to Osceola County.
Hire a deputy, hire a
And that's
direct
what
deputy.
the
Don't spend any more money on that.
I agree.
That's for the speed,
On Vine Oaks Drive primarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Well, hold on, Julie, listen to the facts though, what, like, there might be other options,
Yes.
right? We don't necessarily have to spend those engineering dollars, there are other options.
We've had, we've had light up signs in the
Presented
past.
this 2 months ago.
Right.
With elevated speed walks, speed bumps, speed tables, pinching the road down. None of that can be done or approved until the county looks into it and blesses it.
Right, but do we have to allocate, what I'm saying is that there's another path to that, right?
We gave him this direction, and yes, the other option is we can try hiring deputies. We've done that in the past. We can do the speed signs. We've done that in the past. David is responding to the direction we gave him a couple months ago of we want to see what the options are. He's ready to move forward with the county, who actually controls the roads, to do this now.
But what are the options he's been, like,
It's not a bad idea, it's an engineering idea. So you don't have to use an engineering idea.
Right, this is just to see, the county has to be involved, this is for him to take those steps to bring the county in and do the study to see what they can do with their roads.
We can't put traffic calming into our rights of way. They have to do the study to see if it's justified and supported. So we have to make an application for the county to do their study to come back and say whether or not we have a speeding issue towards traffic calming devices.
And hey, this might be my ignorance, guys, and I know we're super low on time, but I just want to understand. So, only our district engineer can submit that application? It has to be engineering hours?
I'm not sure. Who else would you propose to do it?
I'm asking because I don't know. I mean,
This is district engineer's area of expertise, that's why he's on our staff, and this is him doing what we asked him to do.
And I'm sure if we ask legal to do it, it would cost a whole lot more.
no, they're probably like very
I mean, you want to do it?
Okay, Lynn, is this
well,
something
I mean,
that's a PFS?
depends. If it's going to cost $50,000, I don't know. I feel like
Okay, so not something that Lynn and PFM in their district management capacity could do. This is something that David needs to do.
This is something for all districts or district engineer would do.
So I have to move to give that direction.
And the direction is
For him to proceed with the county as listed in his action items to have them do the speed study.
Are we going into this again, or do we have no numbers at all? We're just signing on for the expense?
it's a common theme. You'll see. It's your first one, babe.
No, while I can appreciate that, and I'm not slamming this down, I feel like, again, going back, like we went back and forth for 10 minutes to get 2,000. Do we have anything that you can illuminate here for us, that we can have an idea? Like, are we signing on for a $5,000 task or a $50,000 task?
Multi-year, multi-thousand.
Please, let the.
James, did you make a motion for him to move forward?
I did.
I'll second.
How are you just voting without here? I mean, you're not even listening to the argument.
Like, that's it.
Because I read the agenda and I've been paying attention to the past 2 weeks.
What in the agenda?
Hold on, this was under separate cover. Emailed to us, and Marcella has not seen that because she's not provided us under separate cover in the public agenda. We are acting at, residents have been showing up at our meetings
We haven't
for months.
deferred much today, thank you.
Residents have been showing up at our meetings for months. We took action based on resident input, and this is the result of that. And I moved and Julie seconded.
This is what they've been saying they wanted.
Yes.
And so now's the time to either move forward or not do it, but they have been.
Or move forward with a little bit more information.
As long as we've been on the board, they have been screaming.
Do you know the cost? Do you know what it's going to cost?
Do you?
No, that's why I'm not voting.
There's no reason to yell. The county will tell us there's a process for all this, and it's being followed, and all we need to do
Not
is
the only option, that's why.
Guys, what I'm saying is not that we don't need this. We do.
I'm done with you guys. This is your 5 years I've served you. I've never doubted you.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit taken aback by the fact that you're taking it personal.
I'm tendering my resignation.
I'm sorry because I'm questioning, guys, because I'm questioning what the cost is.
Please stop.
Please let
David
the
just
district
resigned and now we have more problems than one.
Write
Now,
that one down, Brady.
okay.
You know what, you're welcome, because that's no transparency. Well, yeah. What is the cost? I don't understand. You guys can be mad at me.
Floor is not can we proceed? What needs
The
to happen?
governor just made a recall petition, feel free.
Lynn, what needs to happen?
Well, I think at this point in time, we have to go through a CCNA process. I'm gonna have to bring that forward next time. We have lots of hurdles. We are making it nowhere now with any of our engineering items. So for tonight, engineering is closed. I have no reports. Our next meeting is the budget meeting. On that agenda, the line will not be open, the phone line will not be open, it'll be only an in-person meeting to cut down on the banter back and forth. It'll only be open for district staff. We will only have the budget on the agenda. There will be no other items because it took us almost 45 minutes to an hour to get through public comment, and we can't conduct business. So our next meeting, just so everyone is aware, you guys can come bring your public comment, but it will only be on the agenda. It will only be the budget, because if the room is like this and we start at 6 o'clock, we can't conduct business, guys. I just tried to conduct business. So are there any supervisory requests? We have 2 minutes.
I have something for Nick. There's a reservoir report of Roundup being sprayed along properties bordering CDD conservation areas. Just wanted information on why residents were being notified of that being done, or was it Indy them or someone else? Otherwise, yeah, nothing else. Quick commentary: if we were being taken for a ride by our engineer, then I don't know why he would just walk away like that.
Right.
So, any other supervisor comments?
There was a resident issue with pool timings and being open and closed. I don't know the whole story, but he was on my street and there was an incident with one of the workers with bourbon and they closed the pool early. And so can we just make sure that we're following the signage from whatever it's subsidized?
That's been resolved.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's all I got.
Marcella, any items from you?
No, it's unfortunate that, that this all happened. I hope that he just needs to step away, cool off, maybe.
He tendered his resignation. He's done.
Okay.
I asked
think-
2 hard questions.
I feel-
And not even hard. What is it?
I feel like, yeah, we just.
In that reaction, it was, if for those of us who were here last year, and remember what happened with Infomark when we started asking hard questions and saying, hey, we're in breach of contract here, here, and here. No one else wanted to say it. And you know what happened? The same thing. When we started asking tough questions, they resigned. And that is very similar to what we saw last year. So I'm not sorry for it, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's going to take work, and I'm willing to put it in like I was last year. But that was very telling.
All right. Motion to adjourn.